All right, so hopefully I know how to stream this time. Let me know if the audio sounds good. Actually, Alan, say something.
Yo, what's good?
Let's see.
You
We'll raise
good?
this up actually, but hold on. Yeah, chat. Let me know if you guys can hear us properly, because we. Okay, so funny thing, Naya, we had this like we had this the thing that happened with Naya. So basically, like all right, and speaking of the man himself, yeah, it's just messed with me. So, we were streaming like the first minutes we were talking, whatever, and then afterwards, all of a sudden, like they're literally saying like, "Yo, I can't hear Naya, I can't hear him," and I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I looked, I had the desktop audio off, so you couldn't hear him. So I'm like,
See,
"Oh,
that's
bro, come
not what
on."
you want.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, think. Okay, so let me know if you can hear Alan, guys, real quick, so that way I know we're off to a good start at the very least. You know, not the
Oh
intro
yeah,
we get, but
yeah, is my audio okay? Can you guys hear me? Is
yeah,
everything good?
like I set it to the high because I try like I got a balance between mine and yours. Because I think before Naya's was like blaring going in, and I think mine's just wasn't hidden. So
Oh, I see. So you're just deafening, eh? Everyone,
yeah.
everyone
All right,
knows
guys,
what.
hear him? Let me know if like if it's good enough, guys. If not, I can raise it afterwards. But yeah, it's good. All right, bet. All right, but what's going on, guys? Commodore Lads here today. We have was been I don't even know how many videos I've done today, but we're here for another stream, man. Joining me right now, got the homie Alan here today to talk about One Piece manga chapter 925. We got one more. Yeah, I'm gonna avoid that word. We got another brother from the sixth that's gonna be coming through soon. Naya. He's fighting right now. Calvin from Tower of God. By the way, if you guys haven't read Tower of God, go ahead and do so. But we're gonna talk about One Piece for a little bit. Might have some more people coming through afterwards. Midway through all this chaos and greatness, kind of mixed in. But real quick though, Alan, before we even dive into the chapter, what were your thoughts though, with this entire chapter like that we got? Because like people were hyping this thing up for like days, saying like, yo, you gotta have social media, you can't be
Dude,
spoiled with anything. I know we're gonna get
no,
Naya's thoughts on this because I feel bad for the dude for him, but it's like, what were your
honestly,
thoughts?
that was the thing, man. Like when I heard that he got spoiled, like that irked me. Because the thing is that like this is why I'm glad that on Twitter, like there are not that many people following me, and there are not that many people who are like sending me all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I'm active in the community ish, and like but I keep to myself. So like it's not hard for me to avoid those kind of spoilers and stuff. But like people have been talking about it, like to the point that like people in my friend group who are like obscurists when it comes to like manga, they knew about the spoilers. Like
yeah.
it's unreal. Like the level of people talking about it. It's crazy. So like what we got from this chapter though, that for me was ridiculously fire. I think everybody can agree with that. Everything was really on point.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
definitely,
mean?
man.
Like
Like,
there was nothing in this chapter that wasn't like more world building, more like plot like driving, more character developing. Like everything about it was really good.
yeah, I mean, I'll probably say there's one thing, but we'll probably get into it afterwards. That I was kind of like, I was kind of like, I don't know about this man, but you know what? It's all right for what it was because at least it helped build up somebody else afterwards. But Perona starts off the chap like so we get the cover, right? It's her and everything, right? But did you think like right when you turn the page, the next thing you're gonna see is Perona again,
It's
especially
her
on
again.
Mihawk's Island, like that like what I would ask your opinion though, like what are your thoughts on Perona? Because I see a lot of people in the community, some people actually really like her and stuff, but I feel like the love for her character comes from Burning Blood. Because you ever see the DLC costume that Perona has? The
Oh
swimsuit
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
yeah. So I feel like ever since the swimsuit thing was revealed, it's like people have been going gung ho for
yeah.
Perona.
People been going for her. Yeah, yeah.
She's great, but I've seen a boom recently in terms of her fans. But what do you think of her as a
Dude,
character?
th like I never thought that much of her in general. Like from jump, like
Yeah,
because her abilities are cool. Like how she is like all right, I guess. But like it never struck me that like oh shoot, like she's particularly cute or nothing, right? But in this chapter, I was just like, damn, yo, like that's what she like. She's actually like a nice character. She's something like I can get along with.
mm-hmm.
So like for me anyway, this chapter was really like enlightening about her personality, and it really hit that like oh shit, like she's much better than I thought that she was like
Yeah,
in general, you know what I mean? Like based off of what we've seen in Thriller Bark, and then like what we saw with that little bit, of Zoro arriving on Mihawk's Island in the first place.
mm-hmm.
So like to have her like at that stage, like I was confused. I was like, oh shoot, like why like why are you here? Like where's the story going right now?
Yeah,
So like it was an interesting like twist, and to be honest, like it did strike something with me because I've been having this discussion with other people, right? Like I talked to Nai about it, I talked to Nat about it, but what I'd said was Oda was probably going to do some kind of like time skip or something, right?
Right.
And I don't know how he's going to like formulate that or what have you, but like I figured that something was going to happen and then we were going to lead into like where we were at, right? And I guess like to a degree I did like it did come out the way that I thought it would because we do the Reverie thing, right? Where it's like, oh, there's been a couple of days past now in Reverie that we didn't get to see, but like stuff has been happening. So there has been this kind of like time skip from what we last saw, right?
Definitely.
And that's definitely jumping the gun here.
No, we're all good on that. But I saw some comments over Perona. Some people say like Nakama, some say she's cute, some say she's mad. But Naya, what are your thoughts on Perona, man?
Hey, yo, he loves her now. What do you?
I know he does. Yo.
Top 2, baby.
Top 2.
That's a top 2.
Right.
My God.
Damn.
The pink hair is hitting. It's out.
You know, I know that feeling definitely. But what's good, Naya? Hey, yo, general thoughts on Perona, like real quick. Like, I know you kind of put it in, but like, did you expect her, like, when you saw the cover page and stuff? You know, she was there. Did you expect like you're gonna turn the page and then Perona's there again?
Nope, and that was a great surprise. I thought it was just like the koala like trading like the dugons, whatever the hell they were.
Yeah.
That was like a random commission. But like, yo, she's actually in the chapter. Let's go.
There you go. That was funny. It's not like send me the first sec with like Ree. Oh man.
Thank you.
Let me just pull around our gimmicks, yo. We gotta stop this.
I love that though, man. We always transition Tower Gods sometimes and all these, but yeah, man. So the chapter was it starts off pretty great. I mean, we go over to Mihawk's kingdom, the Muggy Kingdom. Was that always the name for it? Like, because I don't know. I swear it was always a different name for that, but we go there. Perona, she sees like the news and stuff. She starts bawling her eyes out, and lo and behold, Master Moria is in fact alive. Starting up a zombie invasion on a certain island, which we'll get to in a bit. And then we see my man's Draco Mihawk sipping tea. I thought this was pretty dope too, the fact that like it was the first time we haven't seen them in the main timeline. Like we've seen them in cover pages, but actually seeing them in a manga panel, like with actual dialogue and story going on, definitely was a treat in itself. And like my man's looks like he's chill, but it's like when you turn the page, it's like, okay, like now it's starting to step something based on what you were saying before, Al, and like the whole topic that was brought up at Reverie. What do you guys think it is though exactly? Because obviously I have my own thing, but what do you guys think it is that Mihawk had heard about, or whatever this topic is from Reverie, that is a good reason for Perona just to dip now because something might go down? What do you think it might be?
Isho wants to abolish the Okai's Chichibukai system.
Yeah, that's what I'm remembering.
Yeah, I don't know how fast it takes for something like that to get implemented and like applied, but. You're basically thinking, well, if my Shichibukai status is revoked, then they can come after me, right? So
yeah,
I was thinking something along those lines.
Yeah, that was the exact same thought that I had too, because a lot of people who are in like the discords, like they've been speculating that like, oh, Mihawk's days are numbered and shit like that now, right?
Yeah.
So and in my mind, like that's total BS. Like I still think Mihawk holding it down, but at the end of the day, like I think the Marines are probably going to start making waves in that sense, right? That like they're going to go and they're going to start hunting down these pirates who like have been helping them out in the past. So like I'd imagine that Mihawk being here on this island by himself, more or less, like it's going to be him dealing with them.
Yeah. Definitely.
Just like get out of here now before they set up the barricade and like start trying to attack.
Yeah, definitely. And I was also gonna say too, like in regards to like, because you remember the conversation Fujitora had with Green Bull regarding whatever the special project is that they could use to kind of, I guess, like replace the Warlord system. Like, do you think it's probably a refinement of like the pacifistas? So like some next level, or maybe they have some other like next level thing that they're working on that they could use possibly to replace the Warlord system. Because that's what I was like initially thinking, that if you're gonna have some kind of replacement, the only thing I can think of that had any kind of like connection to is what Fujitora and Green Bull were talking about way back at Reverie. All right, so it depends on like how strong would these things really be, like because you have to think Vegapunk has to be obviously connected to it, and it's like what does this guy have in his little toolbox right now that's gonna cause like a ruckus,
Dude, that man's a schemer, man. I don't know what like. It's clear that he's got something planned, but I don't know if it's the pacifistas or whether it's like some new, high level mechs or something. But like, I think it's kind of open ended at this point.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, Mihawk, you know, he seems fine. He doesn't look like he's worried. Look, he got his baboons, he got his own apes and stuff on the island. He, you know, my Baz is good. He's safe.
Listen,
right?
He's on the island, bro.
Good luck to anybody who's trying to capture Mihawk. Good luck.
That's big facts. Like I would say, like a majority of the warlords, like even flipping Boa, I would say too is probably safe as well. Because like you don't think anyone's gonna really pull up on her.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like,
who's fighting their way over there?
Yeah, that too. It's like people really underestimate like how good these Kuja pirates are. Because like, bro, the very second you have some of these girls who can actually imbue like Haki into like arrows, and not to mention you have that my one girl, and her name escapes me now, which bugs the hell out of me. She's top 15 to me, but she literally has like the rifle thing gimmick going on. She's like the sniper, I guess, for the Kuja pirates, and she can I'm assuming based on what we were learning in Wano recently about the whole sea stone and stuff and how you can migrate it to like the smallest form, sea stone bullets. I'm just saying, man, if this girl's gonna be packing something like that, she's a little bit more deadly than we think. I mean, you know, it kind of builds up the Kuja pirates a little bit more. But as for what were you saying?
Those are my pirates. I love them. So they're out here.
Yeah.
Respect ball.
Yeah, you know what? Sure, I'll respect Paul. I will.
You know what? I think this is another thing too, that they're still like those places are still in paradise more or less, right? So given that, like, even if Marines do show up, I doubt they'd have the kind of strength they need in order to actually do any damage to any of like the more natural threats out there, right? Like they're not handling Sea Kings well. They're definitely not handling those monkeys well, like in the Monkey Kingdom.
Yeah.
So I mean, best of luck, like trying to deal with people who are like established and well-known and respected, like pirates, who like the Marines went out of their way to hire. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows they're powerful. So
better than Smoothie.
Damn. I mean, that might not be a lie, man. Damn.
And there it is.
That's crazy. But it was open. We only got through like a couple pages. We have 50 people watching right now, man. Like the stream. This is what happened. You get the 666 gang in the house, man. German 66. We out here, man.
Blick that black button.
So you say what?
Blick that black button.
All right, bet. I'm gonna see a lot of Marshall Drip Teach in the chat. I mean, we're gonna talk about Marshall in a little while, but yeah, man, drip season is real. But we head over to Pirate Island, Beehive. I want to ask you guys this because I talked about this in my review, but you remember way back in Long Ring Long Island, chapter 306, the whole thing about Pirates Island? I was like, right afterwards when I read that chapter, I'm like, holy crap, they brought that back. And it has a connection. I
keep telling y'all, stop disrespecting the Davy back fight.
Yeah, you know, I like it, but you know.
I can't full circle.
That's true.
Proud of myself.
That's crazy.
I will stand that arc till my dying breath.
That's crazy. Yeah, you took a big W with that one. That's crazy.
It kind of reminds me of like I guess I want to say like because Jaya was kind of lawless in Paradise, so maybe this is the Jaya of the New World in a sense.
Yeah. Well, you mean like the little intermission stuff, like
just no, there's not even like the arc, just like a lawless island where the pirates can do whatever the hell they want.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can see that vibe. But you think that's probably, well, I mean, we're gonna jump into it afterwards. But you think that teaches like main base, or like just one of the islands he just chills at?
Oof. That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Because he seems like the guy, like, you would think he's a scaredy cat and stuff. He has to be behind, like, some crazy-ass fortress. He doesn't want nobody coming near him.
Yeah.
You know?
He's the man, though.
Yeah, but it's like, if he don't care, like, if he's going to be the actual Edward Thatch, like, he's not going to care. He could literally be walking outside, don't care if Kaido rolls up on him. I don't know, man. Like, the real Thatch is a scary man. Like, so... but speaking of, before we get into Thatch, Gecko Moria, thoughts on him coming back after a long time? Did y'all care about him at all when he showed up? Like,
I did. I was happy to see him. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But like, what shocked me was I'm like, you came here to save Absalom? Like, you didn't strike me as a captain that cared about his subordinates in that kind of way. I can Bark. As a matter of fact, the whole zombie gimmick was because he couldn't deal with his crewmates like dying because kind of ended his career in the new world. So I thought it was interesting. I'm like, oh, he actually went to save him, but that man's dead.
Poor guy. That's great. Yeah, especially with you're saying, Alan?
See, you guys cared. I did not. Like, I've never liked him that much in the first place. Like, he's always been this side kind of like villain. And to be honest, like, even during Thriller Bark, like, I'm not gonna lie, not one of my favorite arcs either. So like,
you know what's crazy? It's like I feel the same with Ally. It's like I like certain bits definitely. Like there's certain moments that definitely hit, but as a consistency, I don't know. Like I did like, of course, you know, like Luffy and the rest of the crew teaming up, you know, going against Moria and stuff and in the wars. But I don't know. I just felt like the pacing and stuff was a little like interesting at times, and then it kind of lost me out. And then Reverie and Zoro happened, and then after that, you know, it was fire.
that's exactly
Oh man, but no, respect.
I like the bar.
Yeah, respect to that. I mean, to me, it's a solid 7.5. So excellent. But we'll jump into the Thriller Bark arc review when we go on your channel afterwards, Naya. I don't know how long it will be, but I promise you it will happen. It will happen. But so we see Moria afterwards, man. I was kind of like, you know, I'm more attracted to his ability, I think, than the character himself. Like the laugh, I absolutely hate. I think it's absolutely.
I love
the laugh. I'm like, Ron, come on. And
what? I'm not surprised.
Yeah. But as we were like going through, we see like afterwards, you know, Avalo Pizarro. I know there was like a mistranslation. Like they call him like the captain of the second ship. He's actually the captain of the fourth ship. So so I don't know if they're gonna fix that in the Viz afterwards. But I assume, like, you know, for most things they'll probably end up fixing it afterwards. But it's kind of saying how, you know, like Moria showed up as people were telling about him, like, yo, why would you let him through and stuff? And like, well, here he's there to find, you know, I guess like his crewmate Absalom, because Teach and Absalom arrived on this island a few days ago. So I guess based on the dialogue too, it also kind of says that maybe this is not his main base. It's just one of the bases. Because if it was like the hometown, he just came back, like returned. So him arriving to me almost kind of like sounds like, you know, he just showed up like to this island, like he just came and took it over. You know what I mean? Like,
oh well, to me it struck me that this is more like what's that place? Like Tortuga from like Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
Where people like pirates come and you're just like, it's like brothels and like alcohol and like, you know, people just, you know, having a good time, chilling out, doing pirate type things, you know, like in a traditional kind of way. So it's all that, and that's really what this whole place is. So it's just Teach arriving at like one of those places. This is like his fortress, kind of.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I said that in my review. Basically, it's like they know he's the man though. So even when he's there, they know to show respect.
Yeah, definitely.
Respect on T, big body,
definitely.
Barbosa, my guy. That's what it is.
Yeah, definitely. And that's really crazy how they were hyping up too with Moria. Like, you know, he came in, like, forced his way into the port and stuff, annihilating it as well. So it's like, were you expecting him to at least be doing that? Because, like, you know, given like the Blackbeard pirates now are a Yonkō crew, and you have this man, like, even though I know, like, you know, his crew now isn't as impressive as it used to be, like, you know, back in the Kaido days and stuff, you know, when he was on the come up. But it's like, this man's still a former warlord. He was still, you know, doing his thing. And then obviously things went south when
he's brave, yo. He came Dolo with the 1-2 zombie, and he's like, yo, where's my man?
Yeah.
Where's Teach? I'm like, who do you think you are?
Yeah, bro. You know, it's pretty crazy too. I completely didn't notice this when I was looking at the chapter again. But you know, there's like one dude that's right behind Pizarro. He has like, I don't know. This has to be a monkey on his shirt, but it has a monkey saying "leave." So I honestly like at this point, bro, Oda knows the joke. So it's like, but yeah, you see like he has like another guy there. It's like almost like an I guess like a zone type person or whatever, because he does not look like a humanoid or whatever. So he obviously, from what it looks like from Teach's crew, or I guess the sub people there, is like all of different, like, I guess like hoodlums and stuff that he associates. Pretty much almost like a bunch of him. You know what I mean? Like some people that are kind of like, in a ways, kind of like look, or they resemble that of like Teach, like, you know, someone who like is just scum. That's the best way I could put it. But they kind of like give that kind of vibe when you see like the people, I guess, associating with them. But we see Absalom afterwards. You know, he find his side ting. You know, he moved over past Nami. You know, Moria's there after saying, "Yo, thank goodness you're alive" and stuff. I wasn't expecting him to actually say that, like, you know, like all like towards one of his crewmates, especially now, like, yeah, like he's willing to make them into corpses and stuff. So I figured, like, oh, like, you know, he's like, okay, cool, you're here, but I didn't think like he'd be like, oh, thank goodness you're alive. But what did you guys think of this, like the lead up though, like when we had like, you know, Absalom was there talking and everything, they're talking about how, like, you know, the ability hunters with the Blackbeard pirates and what they are known for and stuff, and then that Slash came in. Did you think it was Pizarro who did it before we turned the page and found out who it was?
I didn't know what to think, to be honest. I don't think I stopped long enough to think who it was.
Yeah.
I was just like, ooh.
Yeah. But But no, we turn the page and then Moria gets slashed, little air slash, and then
and Bison.
The Bison, bro. I'm not gonna lie. As cool as it was seem to have him as like the diamond fruit, I think the invisible one actually is pretty fire on him.
Yeah, I hadn't actually heard too much about that until today. People were telling me that they mostly assumed he had Josu's fruit, but I'm like, bro, he can get creative with the fight scenes.
Yeah,
he can turn invisible and sword invisible.
Definitely.
Think of like how like Arturia, you know how when she's hiding Excalibur, you have to kind of like get a feel for how long and wide the blade is by just clashing with it.
Yeah,
it could be fate goat.
Definitely. But no, I mean, like, I really like it too. Not to mention the fact that when you look at like how I guess like Shiryu's epithet too, like of the rain, like you know how like almost like in any fight that you ever see, whatever you like real life or like an animated fight, you know how like if you're fighting in the rain, you know how hard it is to see, keep like I guess concentration on someone. So again, with him being Shiryu of the rain, he's invincible. It makes it almost harder than anything now to be able to see him in combat. You know, you would have to think that somebody with very good observation Haki is gonna have to try and keep up with them during a fight, especially if he like ends up mastering the clear fruit. But yeah, definitely I really do like this. I mean, I do like Oda kind of going outside the box a bit instead of like, you know, what people always assume like, oh, this, you know, for sure he's gonna have Diamond Joseph's fruit, you know, Zoro's gonna cut a diamond in half, like, but obviously that's not the case. But do you think that also means that the fights that we assumed, let's say like, you know, Zoro versus Shiryu, Sanji versus, you know, Burgess or whatever, like do you think those fights now have been reversed because, you know, Sanji wanted the clear fruit, now his, you know, someone else has this, so you think he'll face him, or you don't think it changes anything?
I see why you say that. I didn't consider that. That makes sense. That thought process makes sense to me. But I don't know. I wouldn't switch it just because of the swordsman deal.
Yeah.
And because Zoro's specialty isn't observation Haki, I think that would be a good opportunity for him to like kind of show his proficiency with it when he gets that good. Because you still can't hide your will and intent, even though you can't see them.
Yeah.
Because you see Luffy sends people you can't see, like at the Ryugu Palace, like when Karibu was, you know, on his, you know, F-boy shit. And then I mean Heart of Gold is special, but when what's his name again? Psycho P had coded the ship, they were able to sense him even though they couldn't see him. So it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. But
it's gonna be fun though, man. It's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously by time and stuff, you know, Oda's gonna hopefully. Well, I mean, the anime is obviously gonna make it more clear and stuff. I think later on with the red eyes and stuff, but hopefully in the manga it's like more detailed. Like at least give me like little squiggly lines and stuff. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I know, I understand a little bit better. Like, or at least change something in the pupil. You know what I mean? Like it would be at least a nice like darker things out.
A visual indicator.
Yeah, something like that at least. You know, like make it at least a little bit more visible to the naked eye. But I don't know. Oda will figure it out. If he says observation Haki, listen, man. He says observation Haki. Who am I to question the man? Okay, he puts out great this, but
well, I mean, he could always do that thing, right? Like what they did with Kuroko no Basuke, and how like you go in the zone, so you've got the you know, the lights like flashing, like there's streams of lights coming out of your eyes. Yeah.
But I was kind of disappointed with one thing though. I think in terms of like I guess what all of them being revealed was that we didn't get to see their bounties. Right, because I figured like again, like I mean, we got a certain character bounty we'll get into a bit, but it's like you figure at least we get to see the bounties of like, you know, Blackbeard's commanders at the very least, see what like what they have, considering like the threat they now possess of the world and stuff as like one of the 4 Yonkō's like crew, you know, like.
See, but I agree with that at first, but the thing is that I feel that without having their bounties at this stage, like when Blackbeard's bounty comes to light, then it has more impact, right? So I think there's a science to it, right? It's not just that like, okay, he purposefully omitted it for no reason, you know.
But okay, but you're saying?
No, but that's like, I feel like that's the reason why he didn't, or because otherwise why put their names the way that he's done it here, right? It's not like we don't know who these people are. You know? So I mean, again, we're seeing them after a couple of years and what have you, but like usually he puts bounties as well, right? It's not just names. So
that's very true.
Like that's really the reason why.
Definitely. So we go over afterwards, you know, from Shiryu, that we see Absalom like laughing and stuff about the whole situation. You know, he's saying like, oh, like wait, you turn invisible, you got Absalom's fruit, and then you see him laughing, and I'm like, wait, I was so confused. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then as soon as he does like that little leap, and I see like these tails popping, I'm like, what the hell? And then Devon showing up, I'm like, wait, he got smoked? It was like, and then, like I was questioning myself. I'm like, wait. So then the person who was on Kid's Island and found the news about like his alliance. I'm like, was it Devon? But I'm like, no, it had to have been Absalom, and then he got smoked long afterwards. But what did you think of that though? Like let me read this actually to be more correct. It is the user of the dog through mythical beast model 9-tailed fox. I mean,
that's dope.
Better than Naruto, damn. But like, like it's pretty. That's crazy.
I thought about saying it, but I didn't do it.
I mean,
now you did it. Facts.
Someone got to say it, man. Look, already looking better than Naruto, and we only seen the tail. But yo, Lady Devon. I mean, I feel like now, like especially the Reverie card data book, kind of like explain more of her character, like how she loves like decapitate like people with like beautiful faces and stuff. I think the thing has to do something with her childhood. Maybe like she was made fun of, I guess, for like her appearances or maybe her upbringing, and then maybe like to kind of like spite the people that kind of like I guess were considered beautiful or so, coming in like just dicing people's heads off and stuff. I really do now like the fact that like we're seeing this kind of fruit where she can actually take the resemblance of people. I'm assuming the people she kills. And that's what the form she takes, or it could be similar to Bon Clay's ability, but like how exactly would that work? She just looks at you or kills you, and like that's how she takes the form. Like how did you guys think of it first time you saw it?
Oh, for me, I thought it was gonna be based off of how like the Koreans have their gumiho, right, which is also a 9-tailed fox.
Mm-hmm.
But in their rendition, a 9-tailed fox is usually like a woman, and she takes that form in order to like steal energy from men. So like she'll like be proactive in like sexual things and whatever, and she like steals their energy from them, and then that's what makes her like more youthful or like more powerful. So I figured like that's what allows her to do all this like shape shifting and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. Though I don't know, maybe it is like the traditional like Japanese style of 9-tailed foxes, where it's just like, oh, she just got all this power and she's just holding it down,
Definitely. But nah,
man, her power is dope. I don't think she has the same conditions to activate this Bon Clay though. I think it's different.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you how or why though.
Yeah, it's like we literally have to see her like in actual combat, or at least show it to us like how it's done. Like all of this is a poof. That's all. Like that's all we got. Sound effects.
She was looking kind of thick.
Do the shit.
I can't lie.
I'm not gonna lie. She was looking a little bit.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of got worried a bit, like rereading the chapter, because I'm like, wait, is she wearing pants? And I'm looking down, I'm like, oh wait, yeah, she got the strap thing there. I bet. I was gonna be like, yo, this is front.
Yeah, I feel you. I think that too.
She front. I mean, that's an extra point, but like, besides that, she kind of raw, but. You see Moria's like freaking out at this point. He's like, yo, I got slashed by Invisible Man, my mate got like killed, she's like saying like, yo, I got the corpse right here if you want it, I know you love corpses and stuff. Like it's just that was a big line. That was a big line.
Yeah, I know, she gave him bars, bro.
Yeah, man. And then we get hit with the zeh, ha ha ha, and that, I'm like, yo, because the thing is, it's like I was expecting, okay, we're probably gonna see like Vasco Shot or maybe Sanjuan Wolf or something, maybe not Teach, you know what I mean? Like I'm not thinking the Teach is just chilling somewhere in this pirate island. And like they're saying like how the admiral summoned like an earthquake, so like he's just chilling, just doing like just to cause like little tremors. And I do like obviously saying like destroy this don't disturb this order of the pirate island, again darkening the word pirate island to kind of symbolize what was said back in Long Ring Long Island, which is pretty dope. But Blackbeard, he said telling the Blackbeard like, yo, show up, you bastard, show yourself, and he's like, nah, I'm good. Like, yo, I like, I'm chilling, bro. I got these honeys beside me and everything. Like,
he's yo,
yeah, bro. I think he's a little troll.
I'm busy. He said,
yeah.
Yo, that man definitely drinking, my guy. Like,
he
like,
definitely is, bro. But I mean, we're gonna turn the page anyways. But it's like, I love how like his man's just like chilling, sitting down with all the honeys. He has no cherry pie, by the way. I was trying to see if there's a cherry pie beside him. I don't know, man. I think he's getting lean.
Yeah. I think it's he got that Yonkō money, so now he's not eating.
Yo, he's getting like a salad like every other day. Like,
jeez. Yo, is it me? Does it look bigger to you guys?
He kind of does.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if the point was to make him look more like grander and more imposing. Well, he just looked a little bigger to me.
Yeah.
No, 100%. But I thought that maybe it was like part of it too was maybe the paneling, so that's why I didn't want to like draw any light to that. But I think you're right though. Like when I saw it, I was just like, it's gonna get bigger. Like what's going on here?
Yeah, but I mean,
his beard is clean.
Yeah, it does, bro. I mean, he looks like the actual. Like if you ever played like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, like the actual Everett, kind of looks like.
He looks more Somali now.
Wow.
Wallahi.
Wallahi, man.
Is that it?
Yo,
Is that it?
Yo, I'm not.
Is that it? No, I can't. I don't want to say it. No, I'm no, because I always thought it was Wallah. Isn't it?
I'm sorry.
No.
Damn.
People
I'm
cut it up around here. Yeah.
That's crazy.
When you're out in Scarborough, everybody just chop up things and just say them just however they want.
That's my whole life, man. Trust me. But I found I don't know. How did you guys feel though? Like the whole thing about Teach kind of explaining, you know, what happened on the fourth day of the during the Reverie and stuff regarding like, you know, the revolutionary commanders, you know, in an attempt to rescue Kuma, they got into a clash afterwards with Fujitora, Green Bull. Like, obviously we didn't get to see it, but like I know some people were kind of disappointed, like, oh, we're just being told stuff and not seeing things. But like, how did you feel? Like, did it bother you by any chance, or like, did you want to see it like actually happen, like going back to Reverie, or like, you know, we're gonna see it eventually, like, so it doesn't bother you as much?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see it, man. Like, I'm not trying. Like,
Yeah, man.
don't
Like,
get me wrong. It's nice to hear about it, but like, we want to know things. Like, we don't just want to hear about things, right? That's the whole point. Like, when it comes to Reverie, especially, like, we were expecting so much from that, and then to have it all get cut off right at the point where they're like, let's start the discussions. Like, what? You're like, cut it out at like the best part of this thing. Like, this is what we came here for in the first place. So the fact that we're still not getting that, and that this is all happening like behind the scenes, I think to a degree, like, it has to do with the fact that he's probably trying to hide the fact that like Green Bull is like this is what his real abilities are, whatever. So it's a little bit more surprising when he does show up in the main storyline. And I also think that, like, at the end of the day, there's still a lot in terms of combat that we haven't seen that like Oda is gonna want to like add on as like another layer to like what we've already got going on. Because let's not forget that like we didn't even know about like awakened devil fruits and so on until the Doflamingo fight, right? So my expectation is that like in the new world, like there's still gonna be more and more stuff like that needs to get added on. Because let's face it, like Haki, certainly it has its place within the world, but it feels like once you get to the new world, everybody kind of got that. So you've got to go above and beyond that at this stage. Like, there's got to be more that you can do as a person, as a combatant, like, to heighten yourself, right? So that's my expectation at this stage.
Yeah. What about you, Naya?
What?
No, I'm saying like, so like, are you disappointed in the off screen basically for like the Marines and like revolutionaries? Or you're like, you know what? I've already seen enough of Oda doing this. Like, it is what it is.
I can see why it would annoy people, so I'm not gonna defend it. I was okay with it because I know the focus right now is Wano.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, and that's just gonna detract from it. If he wants to hide certain aspects and, you know, plot threads from the Reverie for now, so
yeah,
I think we'll get there eventually. I think it's too important. I don't think he'll skip it forever, but it's fine. I don't mind. But it was hype to hear that though. And then after the end, I think about it too. Like, what about Bonnie? Because remember, Bonnie went there to save Kuma too. So where's she at?
You know, and it's like, you wonder like, what's Dragon doing? Like, Im doing? Gorosei? You know, all the representatives who might get, you know, like Cobra. Is now it's like, I'm scared for him. You know, is he gonna get waxed soon? Like, he's asking a very scary question that he probably should not be getting an answer to, but he might. I don't know. It depends if they're generous enough, but. You know, just a lot of spooky things are going on, but like I like the fact that it's still like we haven't, because we know that obviously after 2 weeks Reverie's gonna be completely done. We're gonna be on Onigashima, but it's like at least hopefully what I'm expecting is that little details here and there will probably be coming out. So they have like maybe close the current a little bit, not closing Act 2, but like an intermission kind of thing. I could probably see it like if you're gonna treat like an actual show within the arc. But it doesn't bother me as much. It's like, you know, I think as soon as we got from like Aokiji and Akainu off screen, it's like, all right, I can live with, you know, like it is what it is. But then it's like, as more things get added on top, it's like, all right, man, I need to see some fights, man, because look, it's hard trying to defend One Piece fights at times to say like, oh, there's some great, amazing fights, and there have been some great fights, but it's like, man.
Actually, the chat has it right, man. Like the Aokiji fight versus a Akainu fight, like that's one of the things that like we wanted to see, right? But we didn't get to. It was off screen, and like
it wasn't time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't, because I feel like once you show something like that, the expectation is every fight got to be on that level. You know what I mean? Or at least close to. And then like that's like I agree completely. Like, you should not be doing that. At least give me a glimpse of like the island getting like turned up. But then I feel like we're probably gonna see that. Yeah. But I
think like our only hope now at this stage is maybe like in a flashback at some point, you know, Aokiji want to come out with, you know, the facts. He was like, you know what, I could have beat him, but we did this, you know, like some kind of stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe that like that's in the works, but I like it's tragic to know that we may never get to see what happened.
Yeah.
So
Nah, but let me see that shit in the chat real quick before we even get into the next little bits of teach before switching over to Act 2. But I saw, yeah, I think it was Austin says, I'm okay with it. I feel like we'll see it when we need to, honestly. Yeah, I feel definitely like the whole revolutionaries and the Marines. Yeah, definitely that's going to be more talked about. It's like, I would say like after Act 2, or at least like whenever like the 2 weeks are up, by that point we get to Onigashima, I don't think we should hear anything else regarding Reverie until Wano's completed. Or at least like whatever after events. Cause I feel like like the focus should be on Wano. It shouldn't be on what else is going on unless all that's gonna tie from there over here to Wano, like the Marines coming through and stuff. Then okay, then it is important. But like if it's like on like conflict that's right now on the island, definitely the focus should stay on Wano. Once the 2 weeks are up itself. But let me see. All the off screens need to be addressed. I agree, Z Killer. I truly agree on that. Solon Style says that, yeah, it would have been nice if there was at least a Blackbeard versus Ace 1.5 chapters dedicated to it. I don't know, because I feel like that's elite, like, because I feel like some fights, like, when people are saying, like, oh, like we want like 10, 15 chapter fights, and I'm thinking, no, we don't. Because you really the way like how many pages there are, like just the fighting sequences, like, nah. Like, I think like maybe 2. Maybe 3 because it's admirals and stuff. I think we should at least get to see something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would the ideal length be if you were to have, let's say, like the admirals go at it?
I don't know. 6 maybe, around 6.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he wants. I don't know if he wants like the full 10-day in-depth battle, because then that can take forever.
That's true.
He could like a speedy version. Like, I understand, man. I get it, guys, but like you should be used to it by now. What it does,
but that's another thing too, right? Like how do you keep something like that interesting? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we're seeing them come up from like nothing. It's like, they started out without using any Haki or anything. It was just, fisticuffs, and then they moved into Haki, and then they started using their devil fruits, and then, like that's not how the fight probably went down, right? So, given that, like, how do you keep something like that, like, relevant, interesting, and for, like, a fight that's supposed to have lasted that long, like, what are you going to do to, like, make things feel good, right? So
there's probably a more like a deeper meaning to the fight.
Yeah.
You just like you said earlier, like maybe like Aokiji could have won, and for some reason he didn't do it. Like there could have been more to the fight than just being like, you can't be Fleet Admiral, I can't be Fleet Admiral, whatever.
Exactly. And actually, I feel like given how Oda's style is in general, like the fighting is almost secondary to the actual adventure itself, right?
Yeah.
So like the fact of the matter is that like even when people are fighting, we don't like focus completely on them 100% of the time, even during the fight. We look at what other people are doing, we see what other things are happening out there, and then like we have the fight happening kind of like over top of that, right? So like that is my expectation for any fight like coming forward. So even if we get into a fight where there are like big wigs coming through and like throwing big hands and so on, like it's still gonna be something like that. So I wouldn't imagine that it's like maybe at most maybe like 4 or 5 chapters.
Okay, I could live with that. So let me see. That's a very interesting question here. Sarah B asks, I'm surprised a mythical zone with the Nine-Tails Fox through isn't on Kaido's crew. Because you would think like something like that, like you would figure like maybe even Queen could possibly have that until we got the reveal. But like, at least like a higher tier character with like within Kaido's crew would at least have something like that.
I feel like they would have something more like menacing and scary.
Yeah, that's probably true. Naruto's Kurama, it's fierce, but it's Kishimoto's writing, so yeah, I agree. At some point in time, the slander's got to come through. So,
but doesn't this come back to the whole like Absalom thing though? Because he lost his ability, right? It'd been handed over.
He did.
So for all we know, like, don't get me wrong, yes, dead, sure. But like, what if Blackbeard like played a part in, pulling the ability?
Isn't that the assumption?
There has to be the assumption, because like how the hell, like, you know what I mean? Like, because the thing is too, because it's like you remember from like when Ace died, right? Obviously, like with his fruit, Doflamingo had to have some kind of play into getting it. Like, maybe he had like a fruit lying aside, like he just knew something, or I don't know, unless he made dealings with Blackbeard, because you would have to think like how the hell would he get the fruit for Ace, like just coming right off like Marine after Marineford and all that, especially since he's the only one that can really like do, like, obviously you die, your spirit, like whatever is in the fruit like reanimates somewhere else in another fruit, but like I don't know. It's like it's one of those things where it's like it makes you just kind of question a lot of things. With the
You
whole
got
process.
connections.
Yeah,
Pockets go deep. You got a lot of connections.
that's true. I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right. He does have Yonkō money.
Underground
Now, so.
broker, all that stuff. You know, like auction house, everything. Like he got connections. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. Hold on. Let's see if there's another question before we go on afterwards. I mean, yeah, Zeke, yeah, definitely will have at least 5 acts. The hype thing would have been at the reveal of Green Bull and his Dull Fruit, but I feel like that's gonna come like post Wano. Honestly, I feel like whatever the hype is around Green Bull, the fact that we haven't really got to see anything on Green Bull and all this hype and stuff that's been going on, even just from background things, like it really makes you think, man, Green Bull is gonna really be something spooky. By the time we actually get to see the reveal of his character.
If you ask me, he's definitely gonna be something goofy, yo. That's why he's.
Wait.
You can't show him right now because like the second you see him, you just won't be able to take him seriously ever after. Like...
But the thing is he a waste man though?
No.
I mean, I imagine that he's got what's his face, like Usolan's like hairstyle.
Oh man. I mean, yeah,
nah, he might look, a little silly, but he's gonna be the real deal though.
Yeah.
If he just like minty green skin tone, like
Beast Boy gimmick.
Okay, let me see this. Carlos
Plant Man.
Obviously, Carlos Smith says fruit stealing ability is it an fruit stealing ability is it an effect of teacher's power? I like to think that Doc Q may be involved somehow. Also, basically saying like since it's like teacher's power, like how he's the one like taking the fruit, that maybe Doc Q has something to do. I mean, it makes sense. Like he's a doctor, so like at least to make sure like he knows, I guess, what he's doing when he's taking these things out properly. Like.
Yeah. Actually, can we talk about this for a second though? Like it seems like Blackbeard has like a lot of like really hidden knowledge that like nobody else seems to have, or nobody else seems to like want to talk about.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you have to
he
think
knew
about
like
he was a sleeper on that ship. He was a dormant veteran.
Yeah.
Like, he was waiting for his chance. Like he was with Whitebeard for a grip, trying to get amassing knowledge that they found while they were adventuring. Everything. He was just like a caged beast waiting for his moment to break out. So by the time he did, he already knew everything he needed to know. He had a great detailed plan to become a Shichibukai, to break it, to impel down. Like this guy, this scheme.
The man.
Respect my Yonkō.
Yeah. But
yo, that's my uncle too. So still, my guy, like that guy's holding it down, bro.
I mean, yo, Shank's my god, so.
It's too early to call him. It's too early to call him the Gecko, my guy. Put that guy, that stuff back in the box.
But yo, what'd you guys think though of the bounty and stuff? Because like this is like our first reveal of like what an actual Yonko's bounty is: 2,247,600,000. I gotta ask you this, right? So because I talked about this with Rago and stuff. Okay, I'm convinced there's some dude chilling in the government with a dartboard full of just random freaking numbers, and he's just saying, okay, billion, okay, how much? 2, okay. He's just landing on numbers at this point. Like, how do you think this process is working, man? Like, do they got some guy do like?
I feel you become like, okay, like I got the general gist, but that number is random as hell.
That's like a yak, like yak trolling in the chat. Like that's literally what it feels like when he does like the number gimmick for the ratings.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like 225. Like I'm like, bro, come on.
I think it's just because like for the government too, it's like hard for them to quantify like what exactly is going on, right? Because this is like in Blackbeard's situation, he's come up so quickly, right? So it's kind of like, all right, where do we place him, right? And actually, like even him becoming a Yonkō as is right now, like that was really him just stealing the territories that Whitebeard had like left behind after his death, right? So like that certainly has something to do with it. Like Whitebeard has, I think, more of a influence like back in the day, right? And because he was like older, more established, like he'd been around longer, so obviously like he has more cohesion between himself and like other people. So like he has a greater following than what we would expect Blackbeard to have at this level, right? Like I can't imagine that like people that follow like Whitebeard so much, or like who are so enamored with him or what have you, right, in his territories, they'd be like, oh yeah, you know, Blackbeard, like let's follow him now, like without building relationships.
You ain't got a choice.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's what it is. Like he
my island now
and stuff. So like that's why I think like we can't put him at a higher number, but.
Yeah.
Nah, his bounty makes sense to me. He's the newest Yonkō. He's the one. He's
Definitely.
like,
that's it.
And if you look at it, it's the biggest jump. Like he went from being 0, because I just read now Comments Lizard's comment. Like he went just in one go, like from 0 to literally that number. That's impressive as hell. That is the most impressive feat, I think.
There could have been in between ones. We don't know that for sure, but definitely from 0 to he probably went from 0 to like a billion easily.
You know,
after you start taking over territories and whatnot.
definitely.
But yeah, I saw some people complaining it was too low. It's not to me.
Yeah,
The other Yonkō have been alive longer and done more. Like they'll be higher off of that. But
yeah.
like remember on the come up.
So I was gonna say like so to like kind of like so we gloss through this quick. So do you think that like maybe Big Mom, Kaido are sitting near 3 billion, or they're actually not far? Like obviously they're higher than Blackbeard, but not as high as we think.
I would say the high 20s to the low 30s, like 32 billion, like the most.
You think so?
Just yeah. But I still think
give at least double digits.
Huh? Oh shit! Because like, you know what? I can't lie because I thought Luffy was gonna hit like 700,000 after Whole Cake Island, and lo and behold, he got 1.5 bill. So I literally at this point, bro, 3 trillion might be a thing.
No, like I know what a trillion, but
That's a 3 trillion.
I don't know. A certain man said that once upon a time, but I'm not gonna say that guy's name here.
I'm convinced. Like I said, there's a guy's like, okay, what did he do? He beat Rob Lucci. Okay, 16427 dash point.
Yeah, bro. It's like, come on. I don't know, man. Like I'm telling you, bro. Some man's just throwing darts, bro, while like off the bottle. Like that's I don't know, man. Someone's gotta do the job properly.
Kaido brand Hennessy,
bro. Kaido, I'm scared for Kaido's because you know what? I wouldn't be surprised they'd be hitting with some stupid number.
Yeah,
like just take everything. Like it's not even like a reward. Take everything. That's the reward.
But I mean, I could believe that. Like there's so many mysteries surrounding the man, and I'm still holding to the idea that like he's a dragon. Like it's not a devil fruit. Like he was always a dragon, and it was just so happened that like they caught him or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, because the only other thing I can say too as well when it comes to bounties is like what I think was after you hit like 300 million, it becomes very hard afterwards to graduate from the next level. So I'm thinking like I mean obviously the threat level will be different for the Yonkō because like they rule on the other parts of the sea, so like they're the exception. And then it depends on what else you do. I mean, like Jack, of course, be out here crucifying people. The other two we're gonna get into a little bit. Definitely have had their fair shares of crucifying Chill. But it just goes to show that like the playing levels in the new sea, like in the new world and stuff, is completely different to that of Paradise. Because like you could definitely say after 300 million in Paradise, I mean like it is massive. But obviously like when you're going to the new seas, it is definitely a different ball game. Like what you're seeing there is just like it's not Paradise, it's the new world.
The levels to this shit.
Exactly, So let me see. Dragon will be 5 mil, Roger will be like 10 mil, and other Yonkō will at least be 5 mil. Joshua Scott.
Yeah, I think the highest 2 bounties we'll ever see is Roger and Dragon. Maybe Luffy when he becomes whatever. But I actually would be very disappointed if Dragon's bounty is not the highest. Not the Roger. Roger's because Roger came and gone. I'm talking about like alive right now. I the most wanted criminal in the world. I think his bounty should be the highest.
It should definitely, especially let's say if he's hiding secrets too that the world government knows that he shouldn't know, but he knows. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of info that he can just spill whenever he wants to, right? So. But yeah, that's what I'm like. Yo, I need the Reverie just for him. Like, just like, but going back to so we could go fast forward things a little bit. But we saw the thing with regarding like him saying like there's Luffy's like a hot topic right now going on in Wano Country where Kaido resides, and I'm like, how the hell would you know that information? Because he's been trying his best, like not to, Kaido's been saying, I'm not saying anything in the newspapers here in Wano that like pirates like got captured or whatever, like none of them is supposed to go through. So how the hell would he know? Because like the only thing I can think of
information network, you got goons.
But what I'm thinking is the fact that, and I actually forgot to mention this other guy too, but we didn't see Vasco shot, we didn't see Sanjuan Wolf, we haven't seen Kuzan. And I'm thinking what if one of the 3 is actually in, because I'm thinking, okay, Sanjuan Wolf, bro, you can spot, if you can spot that damn Atayama mountain we're gonna get into in a bit, you can spot that man, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Sanjuan Wolf. Because if
big body,
he big boy, but Vasco shots.
But maybe they're handling other things too, right? Yeah. Like I'm sure there must be more subjugation related things or like that need to be done, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why we're not seeing them right now, and this is just like a small entourage that he has with him.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like that's the only thing, unless like those 3 are like one of the 2, like the 3 is hiding in Wano. Because again, Kuzan's in Wano. For whatever,
oh my
god, that could be crazy.
Oh my god, I say ice ball, like it's just something crazy. I'm like, oh,
no, ice time.
Yeah, I don't know what. You know what? I'm thinking like Burning Blood. I used to spam ice ball all the time. Like nobody, every time I use that move, nobody beat me. Like, but nah, but I thought that was very interesting, like how he knew the detail, and then like kind of an important thing. We was talking about like, you know, a bunch of hot-blooded brats are gathering on that island, even with Big Mom. She's in hot pursuit. And like, I want to know like what you guys thought about this line, because I interpret it as something else. Obviously, like it's, you know, it's obvious what we could think of it as, but I interpret something else. But he's like, what do you think will happen? It's already started. The bloodbath between the powerful and the fight for the throne. Because I know a lot of people say the Pirate King's throne. I immediately started thinking, if Blackbeard is more deeper than we think he is, I think he knows something about this empty throne.
I was thinking more of the throne wars that Dofi was talking about.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. But then it's like when you mention like the throne, like the like that, and then it's like we get the empty throne for him and stuff, right? Like what it symbolizes, like once you sit on this throne, you rule everything. And considering like we've seen like in Pirates Island, like, you know, Blackbeard's just chilling. He's just like, yo, this is the lifestyle I want to live. Imagine he gets that kind of lifestyle by sitting on the empty throne, and he gets whatever he wants.
He can't even fit.
No, but I think like at the end of the day, like the world government is stepping up. Like they're increasing their like capabilities, right? To the point that they're getting rid of Shichibukai, right? So how long before they go for Yonkō's next, right? Because what, like right now they've kind of got this like three-way standoff between like revolutionaries, pirates, and themselves. But really, like it's the world government fighting off two fronts, right? One underground and one that's like made itself obvious to them, right, as a threat. So given that whole situation, like by like the relationships between pirates, I think at this stage we know that everybody is kind of like on their own. Like Kid has no interest in like working with other people.
Yeah.
Luffy, like, I mean, he's roped in this alliance with like Law, but like again, same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Kid tried to make an alliance, fair enough, but like, you know, it didn't work out the way that he wanted to, or what have you, right? And now you've got like Teach. He has his people like who are on his crew, and so he's made them into like their own fleet commanders and things, right?
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, like those are the only people who are on his side. There are other pirates out there, maybe equally capable, who are just off doing their own thing. So it's either like die alone or like come together and like stop the world government. I feel it's like the direction we're starting to head into.
Definitely. So
when he says like we're going for the throne, it's like the throne to become the king of the pirates.
Yeah. Unify
the pirates and then like make the big moves, you know?
Okay. Yeah, because I interpret it completely as like, you know, he's talking about the empty throne just to play, I guess, more mystery to Blackbeard's character. Because like we've seen stuff of him definitely, but I feel like the more like we don't get to see him, there's more mystery being like put toward him. And I wouldn't be surprised if like again him having like the bounty poster for like Blackbeard seen as a threat. Like I don't know, I could see definitely a tie with him at some point in time, because it's like, you know what, for him to have that connection with Blackbeard right away with the poster and stuff, and seeing like, you know, I guess something with him and Luffy afterwards, you would think like maybe Blackbeard's the same way. I mean, the guy's been hiding for like 40 some years under, you know, Whitebeard the entire time. But no, speaking of Whitebeard though, like real quick before we transition to Act 2, because they're saying in the chat like where, you know, Whitebeard hasn't had his bounty. What would you think his bounty was?
Oof.
You
know, because you have to factor in like this man, like, you know, he was the equivalent to Roger, man.
It's like as high as Roger, just maybe just a little bit under. Yeah. I didn't think about him too, so maybe his will be one of the highest too. I don't know though. Yeah. I think I can make a good estimate if I see Shanks, Big Mom, and or Kaido's bounty.
Yeah, because you would think at least higher. Like whatever they are, he has got to be higher than that. At least the only one, maybe Shanks is probably the closest. You know, maybe
possibly.
Like, yeah.
But Shanks kind of be chilling. I wouldn't be surprised if his is a little lower than you think, because he doesn't go out doing wilding.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't bother me whatsoever, because I mean it fits with his character. Like he don't be doing shit. You know, he's like Earl Sweatshirt, bro. He doesn't go outside.
He's just turning up. Yeah, like hey, you look up Luffy. He's like, all right, turn up again.
Exactly.
He was hungover. I feel that pain. I gotta stop.
Yeah, even like D. Roby says, Dragon was most wanted man while Whitebeard was alive. I mean, that even speaks volumes too. The man was like alive and well. His bounty was still active, and then Dragon, you know, probably was still higher than that. And we know this.
Well, the what do we call it? Viver card said that he became a revolutionary somewhere between Luffy's birth and the Pirate King's death.
Yeah. So whatever happened during around that time.
So that's kind of crazy, because then he would have been more wanted than Whitebeard. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. Dragon's a spooky fella, and I know people would be like, "Oh, Team Blackbeard, you know, he's good and everything," but is he really good? Like, I don't know. We didn't see no Sancho and Wolf or Vasco Shot. I don't know, man. I don't know. Dragon probably murked
crazy.
him, but and we haven't seen Burgess either, so he probably smoked.
Yeah, he's trash.
You know what? You're not lying. But no, we get the transition afterwards. Wano Country Act 2. I'm like, this is the part I'm like, man, of all the times you could have hit me with a damn curtain, the girl playing the Shamishin, happy now, man. I'm like, yo, can we get this?
Yes.
Keep this intermission going, man. It's like the best intermission you could have got.
Yeah, I know. I was like, man, at that point, like, man, forget Wano, go back.
Yeah. But it opens up. We got to see Mount Atamayama. I didn't notice this until afterwards. But did you guys notice right away that the way the mountain little tree thing was kind of similar to the thing on Shitamaru's head?
No, I didn't.
Like I was like, I'm like, why does it look familiar? And I couldn't put it like there. And I was watching King Lightning's reaction, and he's like, why does it look like Shitamaru's like head? And I'm like, oh shit, it does. Like, I'm like, okay, that's crazy.
They might just be being goofy, yo. Like,
that might be, man. But yo, shout out to the Shamishin, bro. I'm gonna have to buy that banjo for Christmas, man. But
A ukulele.
wow, wow.
But
At this point, because people are so anal about it, I refuse to call it what it is.
Yeah.
Now it's a guitar, it's a violin, ukulele.
yeah, definitely. But no, we get
What am I gonna do?
we get the best dog, top one dog in the series, man. Inarashi gang, Ashura Doji going at it, sword to sword, manly fighting. This is what I come to see. You see, like the swords like having like little marks on them too, so they're kind of even at the moment. From what it looks like,
Yeah,
from the
but
class.
Inarashi got his leg taken by Jack though.
Yes, but like consider too that like he has a Sulong form, and we've seen what Carrot can do. So
Yeah.
I know what I'm saying, like they're even. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if you had two legs, it might not go the same.
Yeah. I still believe in my dog. Listen, he saved my daughter. He gets a pass anytime.
That's not what I'm saying. I think he's stronger,
Yeah.
but he's missing a leg. Like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, it's like
Looking like Kyros hopping around.
yeah, he's just an upgraded Kyros, essentially. I mean, and it's like, you know,
Kyros with bone.
Kyros with bone. I mean, you're not wrong, but
I mean, I literally just seen a video of a girl with one leg doing like squats, holding on to like 200 pounds. So I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Like people are powerful out there.
yeah, I mean, there's probably some one-arm basketball players better than LeBron, but you know, going afterwards to
Wow.
going
You right there.
now going towards you know, Kinemon afterwards popping up, him and Kiku just like watching on this entire thing. What did you guys think of before we even get into my daughter being saved? Because obviously it ties more into the stuff afterwards with the conversation. But what did you guys think of the whole grudge Ashura had? Because it's like, you know, to him it's like, for 20 years, you guys had pretty much been gone. You disappeared away from us and stuff while all this commotion, all this chaos was going on. And they felt like, you know, he felt like he was betrayed. And it's like, I don't serve, like, you know, the Kozuki family. I serve Odin somehow. So it's like, what did you think of that whole thing there between, like, you know, the inner conflict that they have between each other?
It struck me as interesting because that means that, you know how when they first got hit with the time leap and they found people who immediately were loyal to them?
Mm-hmm.
Gathering and amassing like the Kozuki clan members may not be as easy as you think because they were gone for 20 years. Maybe they don't believe anymore and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Shutamaru's like, yo, you guys were gone for 20 years. Like it's not the same no more. And I think he was cool with them all, but he just kind of acting the way he's acting. It's like, no, I only believe the Odin. Like, leave me alone. I'm gone. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I should rob you, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Like, yo.
Yeah, it's like if some man's cold to your house, like, yo, I could take that, you know, that biscuit off your table, but I ain't going. Like, you know, it's just
he's like, be grateful I and leave him with your things. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, damn.
yeah, you know, he's not about that friendship pill or anything, man. You know, he's just here for, you know, let you know what's good.
Tenmaru.
You know,
Go Tenmaru.
you know, honestly, after the way he did to Jack, man, I can't lie. You know, especially
Yeah, Jackson. We'll get to Jack.
yeah, we definitely will. Definitely will.
I got some bars for him.
Got some bars. No, but we go to Amigasa Village, which actually is nice. The fact that we actually went back there, even though we get to see too many of the little houses with like the hats and stuff. I think there was like one in the far distance, but besides that, my daughter being safe, God bless, you know, Chopper, Tristan, you know, saving her. You see like Hitetsu and stuff, everything there. You know, Komainu chilling by there. What was the big ass the sheep guy? The one where he's like, you know, Nami could rest on my stomach anytime. Like that guy, I think he was there just too. But it's kind of sad, man, the fact that like, you know, she barely remembers exactly what had happened. And I guess it kind of really speaks volumes of like, you know, even though it was like a shallow wound she got, just like the fear of it being like, you know, jumped by this dragon like figure of Kaido was quite the scare for this little kid. Like,
Off the pack.
yeah, man, you know, he survived a drunken rampage. Like, You know, but
They not drunken stupor. But yeah, man, shout out to O-Tama. I'm happy she's okay.
I mean, low key, she's a secret weapon of this entire
she
arc.
is, yeah. I mean, the fact that they're kind of emphasizing too on like her ability and stuff, I'm convinced Usopp's gonna have some form of play with this ability too.
Yes,
because
man.
look,
Let that man power up more.
Satsu.
Yeah,
Ibi dango.
yeah, like I'm of the mindset he's going to get the Sea Stone Bullet thing eventually, you know, with his Kabuto. But now it's like with the Dango and stuff, and you can use that to control the gifters. I think it's more than given he's going to have something to do with that, and I think that would be really dope to turn the tides against like the what I assume to be the 500 gifters that Kaido has. When he's saying like, oh, he has a troops full of 500 people, I really think it's more the gifters itself than like, you know, talking about like the high class people, like, you know, the calamities, headliners of that nature. But I mean, but then again, it's like, yo, can that Dango possibly control, you know, like let's say like hold them, like I mean we saw with Speed, but maybe someone like a Drake, if he were to eat one of those things, you think it'd be controlled?
It's hard to say if it only can work on like the gifters and whatnot or real animals.
Yeah.
If not not people who consume the devil fruit because they're technically still I guess a being or human, but I don't know. But I feel like it wouldn't work on a regular Zoan, personally speaking.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say, like that's just me kind of, hopefully like my wishful thinking because I feel like that'll be broken.
Yeah, it would.
Like if Rob just A1, he gonna torque for O-Tama, like.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That should probably might happen. Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised though, man. Listen, that Dango ability, raw, already better than the mochi fruit Katakuri has.
Yo, looking kind of better than that awakened mochi crap, right?
Yeah,
like,
bro, you can actually control shit with that, like.
Yeah, looking kind of raw, superior.
Yeah, bro, like come on. I mean, he got the fancy, cope, but like, shit. Dango out.
Apple out.
Oh man, but actually, I saw a comment right here regarding like Frankie. We're on the new hold on. My man Shard the Dank in the chat. He says Frankie already shoots nails. I'd like to see him get some sea stone nails. They'll always seen him with the sea stone fist, so his strong rights can hit Delphi users. That would be cool.
That'd be dope.
Actually. I feel like again this is kind of like Enies Lobby in a way for us, where it's like everyone's gonna have their form of upgrade into their arsenal. So I would not be surprised. Like again, like we know for sure Frankie Shogun's getting an upgrade. It's gonna either become some kind of Gundam or some shit by the end of the arc.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, man.
Yeah, like we need that.
Dude, like up to this point, I felt that like they've been so lackluster ever since we got into this.
Yeah.
Like they've been powering up for 2 years, but like it doesn't come across like that they've gotten that much stronger or anything, right? Because we come here and we see all these people like throwing hands, right? Like Big Mom throwing down Kaido, like one shot, like put him on the ground, right? So it's like, did you guys really put in that much work? Like you guys need to do more. Like we need to see more because like this is not it. Like this is not going to carry you all the way through.
Yeah.
So like I think this is what we need. Like this is the time to like power them up more.
The raid suit is coming, believe.
Yes, my guy. That's what we need.
I can't lie.
That black raid suit on.
I can't lie. Especially at the end of the chapter and stuff now, it makes more sense for the suit to come into play. Because who has his own special matchup. But let me see. What was the other part that was in here? Yeah, so she like I love the fact that, like with Tama even saying like even though she caught this ass whooping, even though it was a minor ass whooping from Kaido to be expected, she still cares for big bro Luffy, which I was like, yo man, if y'all have kids, man, listen, man, if y'all don't keep that same energy with them, listen, bro, papers out. Papers out, man. Option papers, yo, sign me up.
Hey,
but I really do.
Raizo.
Yeah, but Raizo, man. The prison break mission, I did not expect it to be him, but I don't know why. I feel like this is gonna be like an awesome little like part within Act 2, but it's gonna be one of the funniest bits. I don't know why. I feel like the man's ninjutsu is gonna come into play. Nin. He's gonna try and do because in my mind I'm like, hey, he's gonna create some clones for Luffy and Kid to play as like doppelgangers, so they can try and escape. Those two are gonna cause a commotion that's gonna screw up the whole thing. They're gonna have to fight their way out of prison, and it's probably gonna lead to a fight with King and Queen.
Oh shoot!
What do you think of that possibly happening? Because the way, especially too, the fact that at the end of the chapter we're getting to afterwards, given like if are they like to you guys, do you think they're in Onigashima or do you think they're actually in that udon place like the factory? Because to me it feels like they're at Onigashima.
That's where I thought they were.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like that has to be because like I was thinking like udon when they showed off the first time and then they really tell us, you know what I mean, like we're in Onigashima now when like Luffy actually went to the prison. Right? But,
yeah, I feel you. I think you're right.
Yeah, so I mean, if they're on Onigashima, that's the thing. They're already there. They don't have to go back and go there again. They can just wait there for everyone to come through.
Yo, they look scary.
They do. So yeah, so before, even before then, so like the whole the flashback and stuff, like I to me in my mind, because the more we're getting the stuff with Astra and Kinemon, like Kinemon saying like, you know, he's gonna do everything he could to, you know, make sure that he's an ally and stuff. I really do feel like once we get that flashback for Odin, it might be on the same tier as Nolan and Kalgara's flashback, where like there we know there's this hostility and stuff between these two races. We get to see the two prominent figures of it, and then afterwards, like all is good at the end.
Didn't that line strike you as a little weird though? Like, reminded to man I used to be. I'm like, I know it's been 20 years, but for you were just like, it's just been like a couple like months for you. Like, yeah, why you changed like that? Like, I don't know. That was weird to me.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we'll get him on our side eventually. Just not now.
Yeah, it might be something where like, you know, maybe a speech has to come in or something, and you know, just riles up the troops. But
he's gonna have to match his words with his actions.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe, I don't know, if let's say Kawamatsu and Dendro, if we get to see him at some point in time, maybe that'll change something at least with them. If, you know, if his boys, you know, see the light, maybe he'll see the light afterwards. But we got that. I was gonna say this too before we move on. There was like this weird black thing, which I assume was Zunisha's leg, that was like right behind like everyone and stuff before we got into like the double spread. Did you guys notice that?
No,
it's like yeah. So if you see like where it says like, I'll commend you if you manage to do that. Like right there, there's this huge black thing. I'm assuming that's Zunisha. Either that or like a big ass tree that's there.
One moment.
I don't know, chat. Let me know if that's what you guys saw the first time. Because I'm thinking like, wait, Zunisha would have to be in the water. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, it looks very reminiscent to like a trunk, to like the leg.
Wait, you're talking about right there behind like
sure, right? And stuff.
Yeah. No, I think that's a tree, man.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm tripping.
No, but like I get what you're saying because of like the texture of it and the way that like it looks like it's musculature almost.
Yeah, it makes sense. They're saying like his legs are too skinny to be Zunisha. Yeah, forgot what I said. You know, that was the hood stream translation. Yeah. So we go back to the J-Box translation, and we go to Onigashima, and we get to see Wildfire and the Plague, man. Holy crap. Before even getting into them, they're talking about something with Doflamingo being gone now. They know like where to go for their next trade deal. I saw this being a troll thing in some like comments and stuff before, but do you think that maybe the person they're talking about possibly might be Buggy, because he does have his own organization that deals in trades, possibly with the underground? Or maybe it could be someone that's with the people we saw at Whole Cake Island, the other underground brokers.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. But the Buggy thing, I'll rock with it just because I think it's funny.
You know what I'm saying? So can you imagine bro, Buggy pulling up and seeing all these like ogres and onis and stuff pulling up, and just Kaido there, like, you know, drinking away, like he'd be like, yo, I'm here to make a deal, like.
Yeah, that'd be funny. That'd be good. I don't think so though, but it'd be funny. I'm okay with it.
You know, you'll be crazy too. Like imagine like Kaido, like he like kind of like with Whitebeard, like he remembers Buggy and he just trashed him like, you were so garbage on Roger's crew. How are you still alive? Like you a warlord? Like come on, bro, don't do this. But man,
show my man.
No, but to conclude the chapter, man, we got King, the Wildfire, Queen, the Plague, and Jack the Drag Down.
Jack is getting bullied,
as he should. Like
he's getting bullied.
Like, oh, bro,
oh, big bro, I'm sorry. Oh, boy. Yo, Mammoth Boys is over. You guys are done.
Wildfire season, man. That's what we here for, yo. Dude.
Baby elephant.
Why? No, look, I had to tell this Wildfire season, bro. Why is he so clean? Why is he so clean, King, bro? I don't know what it is.
He looks scarier than Kaido.
He does. He does. You know
and he's wearing a jailer. He's wearing a jailer outfit. I'm like, bro, what?
I don't know, man.
Did he used to work Impel Down?
Like, I'm thinking, yo. Like,
but I mean, don't the like the skull markings on his lapel look like
it looks like
the ones from things?
Yeah, for Shiliew's and stuff. Yeah. So I'm thinking like maybe
because I'm thinking based on what Queen said that you're a torture pervert. I'm thinking maybe he went too far when he was Impel Down, like doing inhumane torturing and stuff, and that's how he got kicked out or whatever the case may be.
Maybe, yeah.
Because someone asked me anything about Discord, like, oh, do I think he escaped with Kaido? Like the only person who escaped Impel Down ever before Luffy was Shiki.
Yeah, so maybe
No
he's
one,
just
no one else got there and escaped, so it couldn't have been Kaido.
yeah. So unless like maybe like, the only thing I can think of, which would be crazy in a sense, is that maybe he was one of the prisoners that escaped at level 6. But then again, if it's not the case, then like I guess when he was recruited to Kaido's crew at one point in time, like he was a former like nut job in Impel Down. Like he literally recruiting people out of prison.
That's what I'm saying.
Like because again he did this. No. I think it makes sense now because you remember when Kaido had said like with he destroyed what was it 9 mammoth warships and stuff, and I guess like carrying prisoners and like whatever.
In the prison ships and stuff.
Yeah, so imagine like he recruited people off the prison ships.
It's possible.
Like you'd be scooping like, oh you're a big timer, okay, scoop like just take him.
Because if I remember correctly, the silhouette is there when he takes over Wano, so he had him for like 20 years at least.
Yeah, at least, and especially like the design looks very different. Now, like you look at the silhouette, I was expecting like a Cyclops Titan kind of thing. He obviously, of course, now doesn't look nowhere near that whatsoever. Like, what do you think it is? Like like a devil, Satan, like what is it, bro? Like, because I mean it's draped in black, but it could be something else.
I'm having such a hard time distinguishing what he's supposed to be based on the mask and the black wings. Oh my god, looks so cool.
The fire right behind him, like
like what's going on?
That's just his beard, bro. Like on his face. Maybe.
No, there's literal flames.
I mean, yes, true.
Well, I just a couple comments here. Actually, the Fairwind Cycle says, "Do you think this is King's hybrid form? He has a bigger form because his silhouette looked like a giant. It may just be a drawing error." And he also says, "Do you think Wildfire could be a Susanoo because it's a Japanese god?"
Ooh.
If he has that, my god, then he's better than Itachi. That's crazy.
Actually, and there's Buddha.
Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna say that on Twitter, somebody had like posted a thing about how like he might be a Garuda, which is like a solar like deity. So it has like it has wings and it's like a bird man and he has like fire like.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what that is.
Shit, that would actually be dope. Actually, if
I don't know, but he got a long ass katana. I think Zoro's gonna have a tough time with that one.
I mean,
he has leather strapped to his face. Like he leather face for real.
Yeah, but my thing is like, as much as I'm hyped for a Hellfire, right? I don't know. Queen might be a sleeper because of a lot of things. For like the plague and stuff, I really do assume that it's gonna be something to do with like a disease, like whatever like his fruit might be. Like I'm thinking like maybe like a rat zone, but like some crazy mythical thing where like it can cause like anything of diseases.
A New York rat.
Precisely, and I can confirm that. I can confirm that too. It's crazy.
I'm not sleeping on Queen at all. I think they're equally as dangerous. I'm just saying, like King got one of the scariest looking. Like I think he like to me. If I saw Kaido, it's like King. Like King will look scarier than me across the street.
Yeah, if that man pulled up, he's like, "Yo, you got the time?" Yeah, he's like, "Here, just take my phone." Like, yo, yes, sir. Like,
but the only one I'm sleeping on is Jack.
You see what?
So what do you think he was tinkering with? Because I didn't notice it when I was reading it, but people are saying it's Kid's arm possibly.
Yeah, I was looking at it too, but if you look at his hands or whatever on the opposite side, it looks blackish or whatever, right? And I'm thinking that unless that's a glove or like maybe something happened to his hand or so, but like it was really weird because it's like the way the arm was, it feels like it's more attached to like his own arm rather than like just being a part of the table itself. So maybe like as he's like, it's kind of like, maybe like one of those handguns, like kind of almost like a thing like in Berserk, like with like Guts, how he has like his own like rocket launcher thing on his arm. Maybe something similar to that. That's the only thing I can think of. But like, because Kid, it's like his arm, the way it's kind of like done is like the metal pieces kind of come together. Like we know he's just missing the arm. His arm got like cut off at some point during the time skip. So to replace it, he used it with his abilities.
Yep.
So I think he could literally make it again, like with any scrap of metal. But like I don't know, like it's just really weird. Cause then it's
I mean, whatever the case may be, the fact that like Queen is tinkering with something.
Yeah, it is because it makes you wonder, like because I know it could be Kid's arm, and I could be wrong and be like, yeah, my boy got more mangled than he should, but it's like. But then I saw something crazy, and I like how Austin just put it right now because I was just about to say it. It's in regards to like Kid. Like, do you think that Queen, who let's say lost an arm, took Kid's arm and placed it on his own as like a replacement?
What?
Yeah. So basically, doing his own surgery, he had pretty much to get a new arm. He took Kid's arm.
No, but I thought that like Kid's arm was like held together by his abilities. Like it's not like.
Well, if based on the image that Oda drew when they were all children, he had like a wrench in his hand, so he always seems to be building stuff. So he
Yeah.
could be good at building, like a mechanic. So
Oh, okay.
I feel like it was a combination of the two. It's tailor suited to maximize his ability, but I don't think he has to literally hold it together with magnetism because that's tiring.
Yeah. I don't know. That's so weird because it's like, yo, if it's his arm and this sickle is just like out here like doing like surgery, because again they're crazy.
Twisted, man.
Bro, you have Jack out here crucifying and chilling. I don't want to imagine what these guys are doing like in prison. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being careful with the soap. Like, straight up, bro.
I mean, one of them literally has like a leather strap to his face. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're weirdos.
Yeah, we don't even get to see his like actual like facial features. Just you just coated in all black. Like, I get it. You know, all black is nice, but shit.
Edge out.
Yeah, he honestly, man, Edge Lord season for this man. But I don't know if you guys both read Fist of the North Star at one point in time, or
Yeah, years ago.
yeah. So did when you saw freaking Queen for the first time, did it remind you of that one big Chinese guy at Hearts that Ken like blew up at one point in time in the story?
It didn't, but now that you mention it, now I see what.
Yeah, so I was like, oh shit, because I'm thinking like, okay, if he has the design going on, and I know what happens to Heart and Fist and North Star, it's like, oh man, that'd be crazy. But nah,
Sanji's opponent, because I think he's an Okama.
You know,
yeah,
actually, like I can agree with that because even Katakuri is like very strongly based off of Joseph, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it feels like he's trying to do a lot more callbacks to like older series.
Yeah.
So he's trying to like spread around the fame, I think, a little bit, and it's just like, oh yeah, check out this person's work; they're cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I don't know. These guys are definitely spooky, especially the fact that you have Jack saying like, you know, I'm sorry, big brothers. Like, do you think they're like, to me, it feels like, you know, like when you're like Yakuza, like in gangs and shit, and it's like, you know, you have like your older senpais and like, you know,
yeah, it's a hierarchy.
Yeah, so I think that's how they kind of refer to it.
Yeah, it's not literally related.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, they're basically like his Anaki, like, you know, his like his straight up like his superiors and stuff. But I did like the fact, like, you know, these guys are like dragging him down and everything, you know, making him feel like trash. And then like they're like the convo between like King and the Queen as well, when he's saying like, you know, we have one burdensome person here, that's an idiot Queen, and he's like, yeah, that's right, we only need one, and that's that scumbag King. I'm just like, yo, did it remind you in a way like how like Sanji and like Zoro, how they go at each other, and then let's say like, you know, like Jack in a way kind of being like Usopp, you know, like whenever he does something wild and they always put the blame on him.
I mean, yeah, because they have that rivalry and they keep clapping back at one another, so it's kind of like they're even in a sense. I get why you say that.
Yeah, because then I'm thinking like, hey, if we're going by personalities, and then being someone kind of connected, does that mean confirms Usopp versus Jack?
I'm here for it.
You know, like being like the Kabut's whole season, like, yo, I'm here for it.
I mean, part of me is wondering if and when Jinbei will appear, and if he does, will he get an opponent? So
yeah. I mean, it all depends too, like on the cabinet too for Orochi, because I feel like after this chapter, he's up next. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna be like we wait until like, let's say,
it's time for Orochi.
Yeah, so I feel like in the next chapter, at least the latest, the second chapter afterwards, I feel like by the end of the year, but like we'll actually get to see him.
Man, I hope so.
Yeah, because I feel like any longer and stuff, it's like, okay, like, you know, how important, unless like there's something about the person's design or lineage that's gonna like shock us. You know, again,
there's no reason.
It's like, okay, look, I want Zoro to have some greatness, but I don't want him being like, you know, Roronoa, some like, no, I don't want that, because I already can see the hellstorm that's gonna come, with all that. So,
but I think it's already, honestly, I think it's already good enough that like he's somebody who's a formidable swordsman, and then he went and he trained under Mihawk. Like, of all people you could go to, like, he's the #1 swordsman.
Yeah.
So, you know, who better to like have learned your skills under? And I don't feel like Zoro's been that like hard pressed. So
yeah,
I think now might be the time, you know, to like show his full strength. Yeah, that's what it is.
Except the Yeti brothers.
Oh, come on, we're not gonna go there. We're not going there.
Not going to the Yeti brothers. Oh no.
Let me see. Hold on. Oh yeah, I also says too. I was sending my reviewer reaction, but Carlos Smith says Queen looks like someone from like the Wano Country, because like how they have like the Chinese design with them too. So again, similar to like that of like Heart, from North Star. What was another one I saw here? Yeah, King being a torture lover adds to him being a warden before, but it like, how did he leave? And Jack calls them like brothers. So like, yeah, it does make you wonder like, how the hell is Kaido like recruiting these like monsters just from like? It isn't like he's just out here like going to like baseball games and like saying like, okay, like I like what you do, I'll hire you. Like, I don't know. I want to see the recruiting process, like kind of like how we got with Big Mom.
Imagine King at one point was tasked with torturing Kaido and couldn't.
That would be wild. Oh my god!
It's like,
yeah.
hey, you kind of raw.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! So instead of breaking him, it was the other way around.
Yeah, like he's trying to get them cheeks in prison. It was the other way around.
Wait,
like kind of raw. No.
I
I don't know.
That took a sharp left that I wasn't expecting.
I don't know, man. Oda be scheming, man. It's crazy. Out here.
You don't put out Oda.
Hey, no, man. Man's wilding out here. Okay, it's his story. I know what he doing. Oh man. Let me see. I saw one comment here. Hold on. Where is it? Something to do with, yeah, it says here, Fairvan says, do you think that King's bounty is over Luffy's currently? I would say so. I would definitely say that King's bounty is probably higher. If Luffy's like 1.5 billion, I want to assume like kind of like he'll be like maybe 1.7, maybe 1.8, something like that. Like if given like the personality we know of him, he has to be kind of high.
I see why Psycho asked that, because if you think about the way that Morgan spoke about him and said he'd be the 5th emperor, does that mean like his bounty being at 1.5 hit a threshold that most other pirates are not at, unless they're at least a Yonkō?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's probably true.
It's like King could be like in like 1.3 instead of 1.5. So I wouldn't be shocked if they were a bit lower than him, to be honest, which would be interesting.
Yeah, that's very true. But also, yeah, I mean like. Yeah, I mean it makes sense because it's like we always think that we always think that Kaido's crew, it's like because they're all nut jobs, you would think that their bounties would be higher based on what they've done, but then it's like when you factor in like after 300 million, it's so hard for them to go up afterwards. Like that's the threshold. Like once you get to a certain point, it's okay, you're Yonkō, like legit, like you're on that tier in terms of value. But definitely,
but I feel it though because Jack was like 1 billion flat, Katakuri's a little bit over. So they could be around Luffy's. I mean, if this more, I wouldn't be shocked. But if it's under, I actually still wouldn't be shocked.
Let me see. Oh, shout out to Philly team, man. Wait, Philly, you from UK? Hold on, big up the UK boys. 6 a.m. here, but here I am. Oh yeah, shit, yeah. Because it's because I remember because I know Orphe's from UK. So
you know where your thing, yeah.
Shout out to Philly T, man. Hey, Philly T, I promised you that Kingdom stream we were gonna do for the goddamn the name you said way back. Some with the heavens. If you remember the name, please just let me know. But I promise you that will happen next year at some point once things wrap up. But let me see. Cat was top and only little over Jack. Yeah, but Katakuri better. He out. Let me see. There's another comment I think I missed. Where was it?
Katakuri.
Oh, okay. I said, who do you think? My boy Nicholas says, who do you think? Who do y'all think Luffy will fight this arc besides Kaido? So, I think prior to Kaido, I think it has to be like King, I would think. But then it's like, because I'm still of the mindset that Zoro's facing Orochi. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be the swordsman. Like, I can't see, like, unless it's, like, the one thing that would bug me the most if it's Kinemon's fight. I don't know why it would bug, or even shoot tomorrow, it would bug me like crazy. Because, like, I get it from a symbolism standpoint, but it's like, if he's, like, the top tier swordsman and you have him wanting to be the best swordsman in the world, wouldn't you want to face the best? Because it would be like...
But King has a big-ass sword.
I mean, yeah, but, like, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, like, in that scenario, it's like, okay, I would like to see him fight the both of them, but then that's overdrive. You know what I mean? I
don't know. I feel it. I feel what you're saying, but I feel like, one of the Kozuki clan people wanted to fight Orochi makes more sense symbolically.
Yeah.
Because they were the ones who were there when he took over, and they have beef with him because he took down, Odin. So, like, if it was like Kiyomon and Kanjuro, right, like a Rice or whatever versus him,
yeah,
that also would have shocked me then after Zoro fights King. But if Zoro fighting, like, two style Orochi still wouldn't shock me either, but I feel like it actually makes more sense for it to be like Kiyomon or something.
Yeah, and especially if you think about it too, like, the whole thing of them, like, now it's like with Luffy, he's closing in on well, I mean, depends on how we want to say it, him being like a 5th emperor, like, him actually being on the stature right now. It's like you'd have to think everyone else is beneath him has to start making weight. They have to start, like doing things, like, especially step up, yeah, like Zoro, Sanji. I think now it's their time to, like, if you're gonna be recognized as the monster trio, now's your time. King and Queen are up to bat. You know, what are you guys doing? Like, you gotta go out there and fight these people now.
Step up to the plate.
You know,
but this is something that like I talked to Naya and Nat about before.
Yeah.
I want to say that like at this stage, like Luffy has really gone out of his way to kind of like save everybody on the crew at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think maybe now is the time where the crew has to come together to save the captain.
Yeah, this is the rescue Luffy arc.
Yes. So given that, I think that he won't be doing any fighting until that point. And if he does like start doing some fighting, then it's gonna be maybe like a short spat against Kid, and then Kaido. That's about it.
Let me see. King versus Zoro and Sanji versus Queen could be on the cards at this point. Definitely. I mean, that definitely would be the case scenario. Let's see. Do you think Jinbei is stronger than Zoro? No.
We ready for you to chime in? Because I'm like, no, I want to hear what are you gonna say?
Look, man. Look, man. Zoro's on the come up. I assume with Sanji too. I would say they have to be higher.
Just say what you want to say. Just say.
Zoro, yes, is stronger than Jinbei.
Okay, I do. I also agree. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's like I would even agree too.
You knew definitely wanted to say Zoro was stronger.
You look at this because I'm factoring in. Okay, like put this man in water. Jinbei, all these washing, but then it's like Hody Jones got washed by this man underwater. So I think okay, that now it gives me more reason to say comfortably, Zoro. But I would even say too, Sanji's probably higher than Jinbei. Maybe just a tinge because he's been playing with his Easy Bay Coven, but.
Wow. Like you're gonna so you really could pretend you don't have Sanji tattooed across your chest. Crazy.
I promise you that. If it is, the next time we see each other, end me. Like just promise you that.
No, I think they're all comparable. I get the Jinbei in the water thing. He's probably the OD strong in the water, but yeah, I would say they're just about even. But I'll go Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei for now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not to say like that Jinbei's trash or anything, but the other guys are on the come up. Their potentials like they're gonna be after Wano. I would say 100%. They'll obviously be above Jinbei, and I say that he regressed, but it's like okay, you have another former warlord in your crew, but Monster Trio, like they're all higher and stuff.
Jinbei's been out here for a minute, like. I don't know if he's gonna really get that much stronger. I mean he will, but I'm just saying, like he's been out here though.
Let's see. Philly T says people haven't considered that Orochi might be safe for Kinemon and the other Oden samurai, considering their history rather than Zoro. I mean, yeah, definitely. I think it's just always been the assumption of like if Zoro's gonna be trying to become the world's greatest swordsman, and Wano being filled with the best of the best of the best, I would assume like he would have to face like them. Like I would love to see him face the cabinet of Orochi if he can't fight Orochi himself before facing King. So he kind of has like an idea of like how the like swordsmanship is of Wano. So it's not like he just sees a couple of people with swords and that's it. At least give him some form of interaction. So at least like it makes sense with his whole dream. Like he wants to be the best like swordsman in the world. Like because I feel like if you're facing like King, it's like not to say like you're deviating away from what his ideal is. Because it's like not to say King might not be a great swordsman, but it's like I just kind of get to fit like the mood. Like you're in Wano, fight the swordsman, like. It's almost like literally, let's say for like Sanji, like you're going to Fishman Island to see the mermaids and stuff, and he just walks by like, okay, cool, like he doesn't take notice of it or doesn't get to that interaction he needs that we know he wants. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's the case, like that's a huge like I feel like you're just like you're just passing by for nothing.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets to fight some samurai and get his notoriety up.
Yeah, I mean,
especially after you almost sort of then get the fight with King. I'm with it.
Yeah, I mean something on the lines of, like if he fought the cabinet, it would not bother me. Like or whatever like his top like guys are and stuff before facing King, it would not bug me whatsoever. At least he's fighting a swordsman. It would make sense because if you're trying to be the greatest swordsman, you're not fighting swordsman. You just like I don't know. It just made me question my guy a little bit, but
Pika.
Yeah, I mean yeah, Pika did have a sword at one point, so.
So did the other guy, the octopus guy. I remember his name. He's so irrelevant. Yeah. I can't remember the name of anybody in Hody's crew.
Wow.
Octopus man. I don't know. Octopath traveler. I don't know.
Wow.
That's how bad it's gonna get. We're gonna call him a video
game. A crew full of bums.
Yeah, real big facts, man. Steroid abusers.
I mean, I popping else, so I mean.
Yeah. Popping Zannies.
See, just goes to show, don't do drugs. It doesn't help.
That is big facts. Don't say boof.
Listen, when Hody got beat underwater, you knew he wasn't the one.
Yeah, that's true.
Not to disparage him, but
Yo, that guy got slapped so quickly.
I couldn't believe my eyes when that happened. Like, okay, like Hody Jones in the water, Zoro's in the water. Okay, Hody's got this in the bag. And I'm like, bro, I saw that panel. Like, there's no way.
After you got blamed like that, I'm like, you got no business fighting anybody ever.
Yeah,
like,
who
do you think you
I
are?
wasn't even hyped. I was just so disappointed for Hody Jones. I'm like, are you kidding me?
listen, I know some people don't really like Fishman Island. I do, but I like literally everything that has nothing to do with the Hody
Yeah, it's the
conflict.
thing.
Everything else is fine.
Yeah, I love everything with the flashback of like freaking the Otohime and everything. Yeah, like I love all that bits with the racism and stuff and how they kind of handle that. And then like Fisher Tiger, big goat, man. That dude was hyped up since Amazon Lily and it delivered.
Yeah, like awesome as raw. The one thing that was cool about the Hody stuff was just to see everyone's new techniques, but that crew was not it. Those fights were not it.
No, they were.
Hody was not it.
They definitely weren't.
Hody got Luffy's beating him underwater in a bubble. Like, come on.
Yeah.
The fruit user smacking the fish underwater. Post Molly. Come on.
That's true, man. Yeah, they submit definitely. But
what do you do to you? Absolutely nothing. I'm like, bro, get this guy out my face. You trash.
I don't know, man. Arlong looking on like getting impelled down, disappointed. He's like, yo,
Arlong was way better.
Yeah. Let me see. I just some of these comments. Oh, by the way, shout out to Philly T. Philly T has a Kun Aguero Avi. I truly appreciate that, man.
Hey,
thank God.
Taro go.
Yeah, man. We can't wait for the podcast Mondays. Nice channel. Link in the description below. Quick plug.
Hey.
Chapters coming on Sunday nights, Monday mornings. You know what the deal is already. But let me see if the climb. But let me see if there's any more comments afterwards and probably wrap things up. We've been streaming for like an hour and a half, and at one point we had 70 people coming through, man, on a late Friday night. A stream I literally just decided on the whim, and we had like 7 people at one point. So shout out to you guys, like the stream.
My bad to my tardiness.
Definitely. Not joking, I'm tired too, man. I'm struggling. Once I hit the end button, bro, I'm dropping. But
that's a tardiness.
10 o'clock is my bedtime.
Because you text you like, oh shit, it's all right.
Yeah. No worries. But shit, man, we have 56 right now, man. But no, I like the stream. Man, some Act 2, bro. Like, this is a crazy start to it. But I want to know what was your rating for the chapter? Because I know some people are like, it's one of those chapters that it shouldn't be a 10, but people are gonna say it's a 10 because how much they enjoyed it.
9.
But it's, I don't know why it's a 10 to me. I don't know. It's not. Is it masterpiece? No, but like
I'll tell you, Nat spoiled me.
Like
no.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Was Nathaniel?
Yes, Nat's true. That's why I called it one of my videos. Nat straight up in the WhatsApp group, he's like, "Yo, man, a man spoiled for me that Blackbeard's bounty is gonna be showed in the chapter."
Nah, that's some shit.
Jeez.
I'm like, in the sanctity and safety of my WhatsApp group. Come on.
Are you kidding me, bro? Nah, come on, dog.
Wow, that's a formidable betrayal, my guy.
It's like yo, I got spoiled. What happened? It's like, he just says it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I was like, come on. So
my God.
It's like when we got to the Blackbeard stuff, I wasn't even really surprised because I kind of already been anticipating it. So like, if I didn't know that, I would have no idea Oda was going to be going towards Blackbeard and Bison with a sword
and Bison with a sword.
Catarina.
Bro, I mean, oh man, nah, I'm so.
Psycho Crusher.
Arihan is doing crazy stuff, man. That's nuts. That boy is that's insane.
Arie.
Is it? I honestly, you know what? At this point, I don't even care.
At this point, yeah. That was just what you feel like.
Yeah, man. If you're Korean in the chat and you just heard that right now, man, I apologize. I don't know. I don't know what Arihan is, but
Arie.
Like, let me see. Kami said my uncle is here, and we saw King and Queen, so it was a 10. I saw a bunch of 10s also in the chat too. Let me see if we get some 9s and see how things changed up though. But let's see. Was it? Oh no, that's not that one. Where was it? Yeah.
Kid and Luffy, man. Come on.
Yeah, I can't wait for that dialogue between the two of them. I think, especially for Kid, he needs that characterization, man. Like I just see more to him than just being like I want I'm violent, I just want to but he's still my goal. But
even charisma out.
Yeah. Let me see. Maze says I gave it a 9, but Carrot and Perona were in the chapter, so I'm giving it a 10. Fair enough. Maze holding down for the carrots. Respect.
Yo, straight up Perona, Ghost Princess, go.
Dude, I'm just saying, Mihawk showed up. We got Reverie stuff.
Yo,
We got Blackbeard out here.
Yeah.
real quick. Yo, One Piece comedy been hitting again, man. It's been really good. Like that whole exchange with Perona and Mihawk was hilarious. He's like, all right, later.
Yeah. He's
Dude, but she was so happy, dude. She was like, yo, you're so nice.
I love he's like, oh, I did all the food I made for you. And he's like, yo, I made that.
I cook more. I help your garden. I'll let you live here.
Yeah.
Like, yo, it reminds me of like how dry Batman will answer you, and it's funny because he's so damn serious and mean.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
dude, but like she was in such a huff too as she was leaving, and you're just like, yo, stay safe. And she's like, oh my god, you're so nice. Like, what? Like, what is wrong with you?
There's this like random energy just coming out of nowhere, man. Like, I love it.
I mean, that means he's mad mean to her.
Yeah, bro. He just doesn't care unless Zoro's there or the baboon's there, man. Hey, listen, Perona, not it for him at least.
Was he hit? Yes or no? All right, guys.
I mean, look, he let her live there. I would assume that's part of the deal. But nah, man, appreciate everyone coming through for the stream. But no, let me see any more comments before. But yeah, definitely he smashed.
Him and Zoro. Did they cross over?
Whoa! Yo, now we got in the stream.
We're not okay. See, like what are these left turns we're taking? All right, like stay. Keep the tangent.
I know.
What do you mean you can't get real life hacked, my guy?
No, if he talked in like Nat's like accent, then I believe it. I truly would believe it, but
oh
my god, let's see. It would have been a 10 if Panda Man was there. I love how it just says D. The thing there. Lasagna chapter. Hey, shout out to my boy Legend Mac though, man. I need my man come through for a stream. But last one, Zoro and Sanji meet. How will it go down?
Sanji gonna flex his bounty.
Yeah, that's how I see it happening.
Then Zoro's gonna be like, I'm gonna find Kaido right now.
Yeah, he probably gonna be like, where you going? I'm going to Raftel. Yeah, I'd be like, why? Like, big nose, like, why? Like, I'm just going there, man.
I'm going to Raftel.
Yeah, bro. And I'll be crazy if he goes on the ship on himself, man. Tonigashima, I'm gonna be so worried, bro, because I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, wait, bro, come on. I know you might go, but nah, man. You see that fella with the black suit on? Like, I don't know.
You gonna be like, King will be like, who are you? Zoro's gonna be like, hey, man, I'm here to take over.
Yeah, but if he goes in, just doesn't say a word, just goes for the attack, man, that'd be crazy.
Oh
he's gonna do it. He's like, I got on the wrong island, splits the island. Okay. Well, let me see. Yeah, we need a novel X novel rant. Yeah.
No, we don't.
No, we do not.
We don't.
So wait,
I'm afraid not.
Was the last chapter the groundbreaking chapter that brought the end of the tears? That's gonna change.
Oh my god, bro.
You know what's funny? Like, I read that chapter.
The comment.
Like, it was good. It's a good chapter, but history breaking. I think the editor was smoking on that good ganja, man, because those chapters craziness, bro. I don't understand where they're coming from with like, I'm here for history to change. I think he was talking about the One Piece chapter, to be honest. There's got to be some mistranslation. I'm convinced it was 925 he was talking about. You saw extra preview. He's like, yo, shit, this is it. And they said it was Hunter x Hunter. So if you're a Hunter x Hunter fan, you heard about that, man. I'm sorry, but listen, Oda's been put on fire since we got out of Hokage Island. It is what it is, man.
Yep.
But
my goat,
man. Let's see. Zoro's gonna use Ashura versus King, and Ashura Doji gonna be the #1 Zoro fan. You know what's crazy? I think it would be cool though if Ashura Doji actually is the one that ends up training Zoro during the 2 weeks and stuff, and he's like the one that kind of helps him channel, I guess, his Ashura. Because at some point in time, you gotta feel, especially with that fight coming up with King, I think it makes sense that Ashura's gonna come into play. You know?
What? Come on now.
Do you think Ashura Doji is stronger than Zoro?
That's tough to. I mean, I would say slightly.
Really?
Slightly, because the fact that, like, I would say only because the fact that we really haven't seen Zoro like go after, like, or fighting against, like, commander level characters. Like, like you would say, like, Pika's like probably like the same tier as a headliner at best, maybe below them and stuff, and like that really doesn't say too much. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like he's had some mid competition. It's like I would have to assume like he has to still like climb his way up there. Shitamaru, like, he was handling his own against a 3rd Division commander, and like he fought Odin back in the day, who we assume Odin's got to be at least like first commander, like, top tier guy. Like, he was under like Roger, Whitebeard and stuff at one point in time. So you have to think this dude has to be relatively strong, and it would be a disappointment if Zoro came up there like he just beats him. Maybe after 2 weeks he'll probably will be better than him, because again, potential factor coming into play. But I definitely think right now, at least by a little bit, if they were to fight, high diff.
Oh. All right, I respect it.
You know, I mean, look, Zoro might go, but it's like, look, as soon as I see what happened to Jack, that changed my mind. Big fella coming in there and doing what he did to Jack, that changed the game.
And I guess the one-legged, I'd actually even clash.
Yeah, even that too. I mean, like, Minx. You know what I'm saying?
Because Luffy acknowledged Nekomamushi as strong when he first met him.
Let me see. Yo, Zaki, bro, what are we talking about here, man? Since people seriously think Zoro is gonna fight King. Zaki, you think he's fighting fighting Orochi? I'm of the mindset he was supposed to, but
fight Jack that mid.
Who we fighting Zaki?
You gonna beat him in one hit.
Wow.
We're not doing this. We're definitely not doing this.
Elephant stew.
But man,
mammoth broth.
Stop this.
Come on.
Stop this.
Mammoth mink coat.
I don't know.
Mammoth do-rag.
The real question we gotta ask though, man, the Blackbeard pose, was it better than the Doflamingo pose? Or was it on the same level? What were we on the mindset of?
Better. What do you mean?
It was better because
Yeah. Hold up. Zaki. Yeah, because Zaki's saying, of course, King is Katakuri level, right? So Luffy barely beat that man. Zoro isn't close, so let that man fight Orochi. Fair enough. If you want to go like that, but then who? We have to make you wonder if that's the case. Who's gonna be fighting?
But Zoro fans told me that Zoro's stronger than Katakuri.
I don't listen, man. I stand him, but who the hell told you that? Come on, listen. Look, Quietly is a different breed from me. Okay, you're far different from them.
I didn't want to say who, but if you gonna say it, there you go.
Look around here, bro. We'll go full names, government names. We'll go government names. We gotta.
Warlord.
Hey, that's my man's, but we gotta chill. We gotta chill.
Kid Zoro would beat Roger. Like, come on,
dog. Let's not do this. But I agree, though. I mean, King being Kagura level, Luffy, barely being able to beat him, it does make sense. I mean, but then it's like after Wano, it's like you would think they have to make the climb, but you would have to get some fights prior that's gonna at least build them up and stuff. So I mean, it depends who if Orochi, because he can always be like, if you remember like Gintama, Naya, like how like the Nobu, if he's like Nobu, the Orochi, then it's like it wouldn't bug me as much because like Nobu's a good character, but like or a good antagonist, I say, but it's like. He has the sword style stuff. He got to be a good fighter at the very least. So,
man, there's just so much to look forward to, and not enough time because like I gotta wait a whole week for these 90 pages, man. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, Zaki's like,
I need to know.
Yeah, I was gonna say. He says, I don't know, but people see a sword, automatically assume it's Zoro's matchup. I mean, but like, unless my man's are gonna start throwing hands instead for the rest of the series, shit. I mean, that's an assumption now, man. I mean, he threw hands in the movies, but it's got some,
Muto you.
You gotta remember those. Sanji's the only one that actually fights. Well, not hand to hand, but he fights with his feet. So those kind of fights we would have to assume. So if a man's throwing legs, we assume Sanji's fighting them. Okay.
I wonder what Queen is all about.
Let me see. They're hyping up. Let's see. Let me see this. Yeah, they're hyping up Orochi's 2-sword style, and that would be a good matchup with Zoro. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would. I mean. That is the fight I want to see the most. Zoro versus Orochi. So if we get that, I'm happy. If we get to see Zoro versus King, I'm happy because my man's getting a fight. So
is Orochi Yatama no Orochi?
You say
what?
No. I can't trust me. I can't even say the name myself. Don't worry. But what were you saying?
Yatama no Orochi, the actual mystical creature, like from Japanese folklore. You think he ate a fruit like that, or no?
Maybe.
Or just straight swords. I mean, with the multiple heads though, as the Orochi, he could like be holding a bunch of swords in all of his like mouths. He'd be dangerous.
I mean,
I don't know. We'll see.
You think if his name is Orochi, he would have to have that like a mythical zone through or something going on. You know what I mean? Like it would make sense. Like it would have to make sense. He's gonna have something like that. But then it's like, is he more formidable because of the fruit or because he has actual sword style, like of him being a fighter? Because I feel that might be secondary to what he actually is.
He can do both. If Kaku could do it and adapt quickly, this guy can do it.
Maybe that's possible.
Pasta machine.
Come on. Obviously, my boy Nicholas says, my Switch left control doesn't charge. Should I get a new controller or what? I would assume yes. 'Cause I think by that point the battery's probably dead. So definitely business move. Get that new controller. It's Black Friday, man. Cyber Monday.
Yo, I hear right now they're selling what do they call it? Like cases that have like extendable like switchblades on them. So Like they're like $15.
Okay.
Can help you out still.
Okay. I'm gonna have to cop mine one still, you know. Shit. Let me see. Is Orochi stronger than Commander level, considering he's the last major Wano enemy revealed?
I don't know. And we haven't seen this lurking legend, by the way. So.
Oh yes.
That's the thing, because the lurking legend's gotta be rocks or something, man. You know what I mean? At this point, it's gonna be, but it's like, when the hell is this dude gonna show up?
Creek.
Oh, don't
Yo,
let's not do this, bro. Come on, let's not do this.
That's your lurking legend, bro.
Yo, he's blue legend, dog.
You're actually letting me down here.
Let's go.
I need Gin back, bro. That's what I need.
Hey, with the Tafas.
I'm
here for it. Guys, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing, right? So who do you think is in the prison cell?
I honestly have no idea.
You know, because it's like, I know some people were saying like the wild theory could be Scopper Gabon, but at this point, it's like, you know, he'll show up eventually, at some point. But it's just like, I don't know, because they said like, you know, they were being specific too, like, you know, make sure to take off all the bones and stuff when you're feeding the fish and everything to the guy. So like somebody like, you know, I guess we're resistant to poison. They don't want to kill him off slowly and stuff, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's such a weird thing, because I was thinking too, like some people were saying, you know, maybe Caribou. Yeah, because you know the fact, because the fact they're in the prisons and stuff, right?
Okay.
So, and then not to mention he has the secret and stuff regarding Shirahoshi. So like, I don't know if he spilled the beans yet to Kaido regarding it, or like he's gonna tell him, yeah, I know the secret. Like, you have to work with me or something. So he could try and use like Luffy and Kid afterwards to try and break out.
Damn, it's Magellan. I'm joking.
Let me see.
Honestly, I guess that's possible. Well, I don't know. I'll be low-key salty if you hit him. Like, I don't care what this guy. Why you hide him? Show me a bit right away.
Bruh.
Like Cardi Boo. Like, bro, you ain't a kid at Luffy's level. Out of here.
I don't know. Caribou, I'm like, yo, this guy's like a weirdo and stuff. And then this man comes through like trying to like get one in on Shirahoshi. Didn't work out. Got bodied by Peckham's. Like, man, rough times. Saki also says like, how are the Big One Pirates gonna factor into the major fights of this arc? I would assume like Katakuri and King might be a fight. Like eventually, like so, like, you know, like how are like the Big Mom Pirates gonna have some form of like effect, like, you know, in the when they come into Wano afterwards. So like, do you see like if you were to see the fights go down, like, you know, Big Mom Pirates versus like the Beast Pirates? Because to me, I can see King and Katakuri go down.
Yeah, I'll be so hyped.
You know, because that'll be our first time really seeing first commanders go at it. I mean, I don't consider Burgess no first commander. I don't care what his thing says. Shiryu is the strongest.
Burgess a mid.
Yeah, so it's like, nah, man. It's like this will be our real first showcasing of what first commanders can do in combat. You know. So
I'll be so fire.
Like, imagine you get that, and then you get like Big Mom versus Kaido. That would be crazy.
Oof.
Like the whole island's gone. Like, you have to think at least that bad.
I'll be so hyped.
Oh man. And that's the last of the Kata versus King, and I failed No November. Look, I failed No November way back, man, when I saw some certain leaked color pages from SJC, but we're not gonna get into those. Katakuri gonna be the biggest Luffy fanboy when he comes back. I definitely can see, you know, him gonna be there like, okay, this whippersnapper is doing his thing, you know, he's doing his level up, but he you know, if I find him again, you know, it's gonna be a wrap. But let me see. I don't think the Big One Pirates play a big role. I think their story will end in Elbaf. I know that's always the assumption that, you know, everything's gonna tie back to Elbaf. I've seen people say like tie back to like Fishman Island, I guess, or whatever, because of, you know.
That was my guess with the hat thing.
Yeah, but what do you think of that? Do you think it'll like their story will come to an end when we get to Elbaf, or most likely like in Fishman Island?
I get why the Elbaf thing, because of the deal with the Giants and what happened in her past, plus was it Lola who was to marry Loki and didn't go through and shit. But I was in the mindset kind of like his actions to like challenge Big Mom on I would say Fish Cake Island, Jesus Christ, on Fishman Island is the reason why it might get destroyed, because you have to go back and protect it, and then that's how they get to the surface and stuff. Like it's a whole bunch of connecting factors there with, you know, the promise and then them being able to live on the surface and Reverie, but it's a long theory I don't want to get into right now.
No. Like video coming soon, I promise.
Hey,
let me see if there's any more comments real quick before we wrap things up. But let me see. Hold up. If Caribou's lurking legend.
Barto versus Cat for #1 Luffy fanboy.
Yo, real talk is a triple threat. You got to throw Boa in the mix.
Hey, okay,
and who wins? Because because Barto, like, his defense is that damn barrier. That's what's protecting him from like getting killed.
He's not resisting Boa. He's getting metal.
Yeah, that's probably true. No, but if he deflects that, man, that'll be just he's a spooky character after that point in time. You know what I mean? Like he does that, like nah. I was gonna say this too because this is a really interesting. So y'all remember that color spread like way back regarding like chapter 944 or where like that whole the gravestone with like 944 on it, and it had like Zoro sitting on it and stuff, and people were like theorizing that something's gonna go down in chapter 944, and some people think of the mindset that like let's say Act 2 ends right around that chapter and something ends up happening. Like, what do you think that means? Because to me, I always felt it had something more to do probably with Mihawk maybe because of like, the connection with Zoro, and maybe something happens to him, someone close to Zoro. But like, do you think something ends up happening to him per se? Like, what do you always think of like those of that cover page and like that little I guess like foreshadowing what I was trying to do with
I mean, you're really putting me on the spot because I never once thought about that. Like,
y'all never look at like stuff like
I'm sorry. Like, it's not that I don't look at things. It's like, but like there are some like fine details, right? That like I am not always paying attention to. I guess. You're putting me on the spot here.
Like, we test some knowledge out here, sir. No, I'm joking.
But like, admittedly though, like we're at what is it, 924 now, right? Yeah. Sorry, 925. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a good number of chapters leading up to that point. So I wouldn't be all that surprised if something significant did happen by that point, though. So, like, I'll just put that out there.
Yeah.
Like maybe something important will happen.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, like people who notice these things, they tend to be right for whatever reason. So.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, especially let's say, like, for example, like if Shiryu actually ends up, well, because the thing is, like, he's in the new world, and we assume that, because I don't know, because it's like Mihawk's Island's like in the Grand Line, but like, is it in the new world or still in Paradise? That's the only thing I've never got confirmation on. Because if it's in the new world, then maybe there's a possibility that they're gonna meet each other in between the time. Let's say Shiryu goes there or something like. You know what I'm saying?
It's in the Grand Line.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if it's like because they always say the Grand Line, but then it's like like. Because that's the thing that sometimes I hate when it's like, oh, I'm born in the Grand Line. All right, bet. But what, Paradise or, New World? Like, Grand Line. So I'm like, yo, what are we doing here, man? Like, but, I don't know. I feel like if it's something's going to go down, I know the big theory people say is that Shiryu is going to be the one to take down Mihawk. Obviously, that could still end up being in play. And, we still could, Zoro and Shiryu, but I don't know.
Wait, people are saying this?
Yeah. There's always been a thing that people like. So basically, the idea is that Shiryu was gonna get the diamond fruit from Jozu. Once he gets that devil fruit afterwards, he's gonna come and take out Mihawk, and then that's gonna lead to Zoro eventually cutting diamond because of the fact that this man is made of diamond, and the fact that he took out Mihawk. Yeah, that's basically been something that's been going for like years.
Wow, y'all really want Zoro to be the one,
Look,
eh?
Man,
Jeez.
These forum polls, man, or Jackson to be something, man. But that's been something for years. Yeah.
But damn, jeez.
Yeah, let me see. Zaki says here, usually when they specify Grand Line, they mean in the half that's in Paradise. Zoro wouldn't be in the New World in 3D.
Nah, the Grand Line is also the New World. The New World's the second half of the Grand Line.
Yeah. I mean,
it's Paradise and New World. It's still the Grand Line.
Yeah. Because then it makes sense too. Because then it's like think of like scratching a poo. Like he was born in the Grand Line. I don't think he was born in the New World. Like you have to assume. Yeah, he has to be in Paradise. I guess it's like one of those things. But like I would have to assume too that like in a way Mihawk living in the New World isn't far fetched. Like he can hold his own clearly. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. I like Oda to be a little bit more specific of things. Like give me like the radius. God, like tell me like like in the center how many like. The diameter, like at least be that specific when you're telling me where these people are from, but what do you think is going to happen to the real Gecko Moria? Gecko Moria is going to be twerking for Marshall DT while his fruit's getting extracted. That is going to be what's happening to him. He's not showing up in Wano. I don't think I think this confirms he's not showing up in Wano. If he's here right now, he's either going to tuck tail and run away or he dead.
Doppelman, he's gonna get that switcheroo and get out of there. I never heard this before until today, but some people were theories that he escaped from Dofi because Absalom turned him invisible and snuck him away, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that doesn't either. Unless like the only thing.
Because he wouldn't he was stepping on him. He wouldn't lose physical form. He would just be invisible. So that doesn't make any sense to me.
Hmm.
Remember, he could switch places with his doppelganger. So wherever it was, he could hit that teleport and boom, he's gone.
Yeah, but I also think, yeah, that's true.
Teleport man.
Because then I can only think of like it's like Im. Because if Im someone, let's say like the whole thing with Doflamingo saying like I got orders from somebody higher. And obviously, let's say it's referring to Im, which would be even crazier. Then it's like like if he knows information for whatever reason, you would think like let's vanquish him out of the way right now, right? Like he's no longer gonna be a warlord after this, so like you might as well kill him. But that makes you wonder like how the hell did he escape? Like if it's Absalom really with the invisible fruit, then it's like bro, I look at Doflamingo a little bit, man. He's got a missing eye or something. But what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. Go into the comments after, see what else everyone's saying, and then probably wrap things up. But you guys, anything else you want to say regarding the the events we were talking about?
Teach.
You see what?
Dude, it was a formidable chapter. Like, it had all of the right stuff. So,
One Piece.
I mean, I'm excited to see where we're going next, man.
Yeah,
That's next.
because right now it's like we really can't guess, because it's like literally we can get it like the intermission stuff's probably done for now, but it's gonna be like literally like the only thing I can say it will be Orochi. If not, then I honestly am gonna stop like wondering what's going on.
I mean, that's actually what I was gonna say too. I was gonna say that I'm expecting at least one more act. So there's a third act like in the works somewhere, and I'd imagine that comes after we're finally introduced to Orochi. So yes. That's where I think we're headed. But
yeah, but is he?
Sooner rather than later, hopefully.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think he has a whole bunch of like Oh, actually, I was gonna say this too. Say for example, we get something with like Lady Hiyori or whatever, right? So like, do you see? Because I've been in the mindset that if Lady Hiyori is alive, and she is like 24, 28, like she went through the years and stuff of time. You think she's probably like a geisha, most likely working?
Yo, Laz was good.
Yo, Quiley, what's good, man? Came at the right time too. Yo, what are your thoughts on the chapter though, man?
Oh, you already know. I think it was a GOAT chapter, honestly.
Yeah.
Like just the reveals and the speculations for like the next like potential fights and just the implications that some of the like the stuff in the beginning of the chapter that Mihawk was talking about has on the overall world. That's the stuff that I really like the reveals at the end, but that's the stuff that really got me curious because I really feel like him sending Perona like away when he said that little statement was like them like abolishing the warlord system, and I feel like if you abolish that kind of system, these top tier pirates are gonna have to either. It's like, do they create their own crews and just live out, or do they like team up with the Yonkō? Because then I would think like, just imagine a Shanks Mihawk kind of team up. It just like it's just ridiculous. Yeah, like the possibilities.
I don't know, because it's weird. Because Mihawk, it's like one of those situations where if he were to team up with somebody, it would be Shanks. That's what I would think. But I feel like he's somebody that like he'll do things on his own. You know what I mean? Like he's that confident in his abilities where like he doesn't have to tag team with anyone. Like if anything, made the baboons on his island and stuff at best, but it's like,
but it's like wow. He has no. That's my thing is that he doesn't have a crew. So it's like no matter how strong you are,
you're not getting by him.
Yeah. No crew. It's like I mean, once they put on the numbers of like stronger people, like vice admirals and like if it's like a gang of vice admirals throwing one admiral, like I don't know how that's looking, man. Depending on which admiral it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's absolutely true. I mean like Momonga and stuff, but then, I don't know. Then again, it's like I put Mihawk on such a stature, man, where I feel like he is top 10. But then it's like if you factor like of the current characters alive, of course. But then it's like when you factor in like Green Bull, Kizaru, Fujitora, and then like Kuzan, and then like now I don't know King and Queen, like you know what I mean. Like the more we looking at it, it's like it's so tough to really scale it afterwards. I assume like
after I was looking at a whole bunch of stuff today too about King, like I'm starting to really think he probably was from Impel Down because you remember that chick Sadie?
Yeah.
Like she had the same kind of sexed up outfit, like you know she got the leather on, like and like it just seems the kind of same. And she was all about torture and being sadistic. And at the end, when Queen was like, you're a torture loving pervert, I'm like, yo, this dude had to be from Impel Down. Like it's so many signs screaming at.
Definitely. But I mean, like I don't know. He's a torture lover. Like, he's really about it, man. He probably got a whip and everything too. I would not be surprised.
I've been hearing tons of speculations about his fruit too. I've been hearing some really good ones like Garuda's,
Yeah.
him being like a gargoyle, which I don't know. I don't really know about the gargoyle one too much, but I mean there's some like some things that make sense about it.
Yeah.
But that's what I really can't wait to see. Like those kind of reveals. That's the stuff I really live for, because depending on the power set, you can kind of scale better of who they should fight, or whether it should be a tag team or 1v1s. It's just so many different places Oda can go with the story right now. It's just fun reading One Piece week to week.
It honestly is.
And it's kind of yeah.
Yeah, especially where we're at now, like, you know, going like, because technically this is like now the setup portion we're getting to, and it's like intermission time has, you know, raised it to the next level. Like I feel like the intermission itself, like its own segment, just escalated things now even more, because now it's like we have to worry about all these things that are going on outside of Wano, and then we have to worry about what's going on within Wano. It's like, it's crazy.
I'm hoping we get this in between every single like intermission actually.
Yeah, so you think so? Because here's my thing, right? So if we, let's say we get like, you know, I feel like after Act 2, if we don't get anything else from Reverie, like after the 2 weeks, like, you know, before we set sail to Onigashima, I feel like any news we get from like Reverie and all that, I'd rather wait until we finish up with Wano. Or at least, like, or at least whatever there, at least there's enough information there. Like, let's say if we know like the Marines are gonna jump in, tell us in Act 2 or give us an indicator that it could possibly happen. Or unless you want to play the big, you know, cliffhanger, like so they just pop out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, we didn't expect that. But I expect that, like, if it does happen, I expect that's probably gonna be sometime like when like the borders actually open. I think it would make the most sense if that happens.
Yeah, I think Marines are like late game, but even without the Marines, like we still just have Kaido and his whole crew of monsters, and then the big mom pirates. Her coming, I just don't even know who she's possibly bringing. Of course, it would be great to bring like Katakuri, and it's just like we don't know which way things can go. Like I was hearing some people talk earlier, they was talking about maybe a Katakuri Luffy team up, which I don't think would happen, but would be crazy to see.
Yeah,
like just with the powers that those two have. I just think that it's like what Oda said was true about this is going to make Marineford. I already think it's going to make it look cute. Just the players you have here, it's going to be on another tier.
It definitely is, man. Like I have high hopes, man, for a lot of the fights that are going to go down. Just like a lot, because I feel like again, this is going to be like our Ennies lobby where everyone's going to have their like, you know, their come up, their own little season and stuff in between the arc and stuff. It's going to be really exciting time. Not even just from a story standpoint, just understanding what's going on, but like everyone's gonna have like their own little just role to play in this arc, man, and I can't wait. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say on the chapter? Like we covered pretty much everything that was here, but there's any little details like, you know, you want to talk about real quick before we probably wrap things up?
Nah, I had literally just seen you was on, so I just hopped in.
Yeah.
That was it.
No worries, man. But let me see what chat else is saying, and then if anything afterwards, probably wrap it up. We was streaming like 2 hours, man, but
Last has been said we gonna wrap it up for half an hour.
I know, that's crazy. I know, but it's like, I don't,
bro. I'm trying to keep my eyes open,
I
bro.
I know.
I told you my bedtime is 10 o'clock.
I know.
2 o'clock, bro.
Let me see the last comment. I saw like someone just subscribed to the channel. I think it was Alvin Jr. If I'm butchering the name, my apologies, but I appreciate you subscribing. Well, yeah, man. Probably gonna wrap up here. We have 50 people consistently, man, at like 1:30 in the morning almost. Just to talk about the best-selling manga in history. Appreciate you guys coming through. Quietly appreciate you coming through right now, even at the last second. But always nice to have you coming through, man.
Word.
Damn, Zoro about to get washed, huh?
Nah,
no, we're not doing this, bro. That's another 2. That's another 2 hours, bro. Come on, that's another 2 hours though. Yeah, but I appreciate though everyone came through, man. Alan, Naya, quietly. Hopefully we can try and get another one of these going in again. Hopefully at earlier time would be nice, right, Alan?
Facts.
Yeah, facts. Facts, my guy. Big facts.
Yo, someone's saying, wait, Super Garo says 4 a.m. in Brazil, much love, less. Yo, shout out to Brazil, man. Hey.
Go to bed. What are you doing?
Hey, one piece out, man. Like, oh yeah. Speaking of like the decimal numbers, man. Shout out to Yako. I just see him right now in the chat. Let's see. Oh, of course, I can hear it as it ends. But hey, man, listen. We put respect on the number game and stuff we were talking about earlier. So shout out to them crazy number ratings. But yeah, man, everyone can
like Yak Attack.
But yo,
the man's got his own agendas, yo.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, 6 a.m. 6:30 a.m. Yeah, for England, man. I'll let you guys go, but yeah, appreciate everyone came through, man. Like the stream if you guys enjoy. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Everyone's links down in the description below to YouTube channels, to their social media pages. Everything will be down there, man. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments in regards to chapter 925, your predictions for 926, and we will catch you guys next week for chapter 926 of Act 2 of Wano of the One Piece manga. So, Commodore Laz and Co. signing off. Thank you so much for watching. And always remember this one little detail. Zoro the GOAT. Bye-bye.